August compared to the same month last year. That's up from 2.7% the previous month, considered one of the biggest indicators of a possible rate cut from the Federal Reserve, which meets next week. We will see how this morning's report had an impact on Wall Street, the bell ringing, of course, in about 30 minutes. Events planned throughout Metro Atlanta today to commemorate 24 years since the September 11th attacks. Large group participated in this morning's stair climb hosted by Emory University at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Similar event scheduled tonight at Thompson Hotel in Buckhead to honor first responders. You can see a complete list of events around town at WSBRadio.com. Meanwhile, family members of the victims from the attacks admit today will not be easy.
I think people think that somehow time makes it better. It actually makes it worse. It's more emotional. I never cry. I'm always crying now.
Events either underway or scheduled today at the sites of the attacks 24 years ago in New York, Washington, D.C., and in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. A Clayton County Sheriff's deputy is critically injured while chasing a vehicle.
A white Infiniti led the deputy on a high-speed chase down I-75, but it ended when the driver clipped an 18-wheeler just south of Forest Parkway. The impact knocked the semi into the pursuing deputy's vehicle, which flipped over and came to rest on a guardrail on the shoulder of the interstate. The deputy was rushed to Grady with critical injuries. The truck driver and the driver of a bystander vehicle suffered minor injuries. The driver of the Infiniti was not injured. The crash investigation and cleanup snarled southbound traffic on I-75 for several hours. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
Well, the CEO of Atlanta-based Delta, Ed Bastian, says consumer confidence with the airline has rebounded following a big hit from tariffs.
Speaking at the Economic Club of New York, he also says the return of optimism is especially noticeable among business and premium travelers, while the lower end of the economic spectrum remains challenged. As a result, Delta is focusing on premium offerings. It's also asking frequent flyers which international destinations it should add.
Bloomberg's Denise Pellegrini says those destinations may include Sardinia or Malta. Bastian says the winning destinations will be announced soon. It's 9:03. The Mark Arum Show begins in less than 2 minutes. And also, we are awaiting this FBI briefing on the killing of Charlie Kirk on Wednesday and the search for his killer. We're waiting for that live update. But for now, live team coverage of traffic and weather. And we start with Triple Team Traffic. Here is Smile Mark McKay.
All right, 2 active travel advisories, Judd. Number 1, heading from Hapeville into downtown Atlanta. 75 northbound, just north of Cleveland Avenue, exit 241. Atlanta Fire Rescue Police on the scene. 2 left lanes knocked out, including the express lane. Travel advisory number 2 on 285, Ashley Frasca.
Over on the west side, 2 left lanes are blocked on 285 northbound just before exit 5. Langford Parkway delays already stretching back to Washington Road, and then you'll encounter brake lights north of there, beginning around South Cobb Drive, on and off the brake pedal for the ride into Sandy Springs. Triple Team Traffic, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly cloudy, hotter today with a high of 87. Lows tonight in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, high near 90. Saturday, sunny skies, morning lows in the mid-60s. Daytime highs in the upper 80s to low 90s.
65 degrees right now in Dunwoody, 66 in Peachtree City, 67 degrees in Midtown Atlanta at 9:05. Once again, we are awaiting this FBI press briefing from Orem, Utah, where political activist Charlie Kirk was shot and killed yesterday during an event. We will bring that to you live when it takes place. More news at 9:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Judd Hickenbotham, 95.5 WSB.
Longtime listeners of the Mark Arum Show should know that every year on September 11th, this is kind of like a touchstone episode of the program where we remember that fateful day 24 years ago. And it seems every year I lament how much the country has changed from the prior year. If you go back to, for those of us that were alive 24 years ago, when terror took over the United States, and the following day, September 12th, and the unity, the coast-to-coast unity we saw, where there were no conservatives, there were no Republicans, there were no libertarians, there was no left, right, and center. We were one nation briefly on September 12th following those horrific terrorism attacks. And it seems every year when we do this touchstone remembrance show here on WSB Radio, it seems like we get further and further away as a nation to that unity we had 24 years ago. And none more starkly than this year. After what happened yesterday in Utah, Judd mentioned the FBI is going to have a press conference in just a little bit out of Orem, Utah. We will go live directly to that. But it's just a stark reminder of how different the nation is on September 11th, 2025 than it was September 12th, 2001. In my lifetime, the closest we've ever been as a nation. The patriotism, the American flags, we were one nation under God, indivisible. And then day by day, year by year, horrible event after horrible event, we get further and further apart from that September 12th, which I remember so fondly. It's a Touchstone program here. We do it every year. We will remember 9/11 throughout the broadcast. We're going to talk to Michael Wallace, who was literally at the doorstep of the Twin Towers when they fell. I'll share my remembrances. I've got audio from WSB Radio on that morning when Scott Slade was anchoring Atlanta's Morning News and the second plane hit the tower. One of the most memorable moments in our 103-year history at WSB Radio. But again, what happened yesterday just shows how further divided we are now than we were then. The assassination of Charlie Kirk. Covering the story and joining us live from the Hill, Ashley Fields. Ashley, good morning. Thank you so much for your time.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Before we get to what we don't know about the assassination of Charlie Kirk yesterday, what do we know at this moment?
At this time, we do know that 2 suspects were taken into custody. However, they were both released. We do know that the shooter shot from a student success center on campus, Utah Valley University, which is the largest school in the state. And so at this time, the person is reportedly fled from that scene. There were 3,000 people in the audience that Kirk was speaking to when he was shot, and he was being asked a question about gun violence in the country when the bullet struck him in the neck, and he was taken to a hospital where he died.
Yeah, I mean, if you saw the horrific images and videos that came out on social media directly after that, I mean, just they're seeing that. I thought, I was like, it would be a miracle if he does survive that shot. You mentioned that there were 2 suspects that were in police custody at first. They've been since released. Do we know why they were taken into custody and questioned and then released?
We don't know exactly why. There was video of someone saying after Kirk was shot that they'd do it again. I'd imagine that person was investigated, and there were some other people who they were trying to catch. However, this shooter shot from a long range, so they're still working to identify security cameras and other measures to figure out exactly who fired that shot.
Yeah, so obviously after the shooting, there was chaos there on the campus of Utah Valley University. There were thousands of people there to see the Charlie Kirk appearance. And then law enforcement had the 2 suspects in custody, and then they determined they weren't the suspects. All in all, which gave the actual shooting suspect a lot of time to get away. Do we know if there have been any clues left or any leads for the authorities to work on?
We don't know at this time. As you mentioned earlier, we are waiting on an update from the FBI. But this was Kirk's first stop on the American Comeback Tour, which was supposed to hit about 14 cities. So the event was very well attended. We know that students were debating at that time at his "You Prove Me Wrong" segment of the event, where they talk about different discussions for discourse. And so there was a lot going on. So police are still working to comb through everything.
Ashley Fields from the Hill joining us live here in the Mark Arum Show as we continue our coverage of the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Ashley, I know you covered the President of the United States and the goings-on in Washington. What's been the reaction to the Kirk assassination on Capitol Hill and at the White House?
Republican lawmakers are devastated. House Speaker Mike Johnson shared personal memories with Kirk. Vice President Vance was very close with Kirk. President Trump even referred to Kirk as legendary. He was the founder of Turning Point USA, a conservative nonprofit organization with a budget of over $8 million, and he's responsible for collecting hundreds of thousands of votes for the GOP ticket this past year. So it's been a very sad day on Capitol Hill, and lawmakers are mourning the loss of Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, a lot of political analysts have credited Charlie Kirk for the surge in younger voters that President Trump got in the latest presidential election, really shifting the paradigm when it comes to traditionally younger voters vote strictly Democrat. But Charlie Kirk, for whatever reason, was able to make a connection with those younger voters and obviously going to college campuses and hosting rallies. For folks that aren't familiar with Charlie Kirk and his legacy, tell us about him and the impact he had in politics in his brief life.
Yeah, that was Kirk. He was on the ground at the young age of 18 years old. He began, engaging in this sort of political discussion and pushing for the GOP ticket. Some people remember him being a heavy advocate for the Second Amendment, the right to own and bear guns and bear arms. And so that's one thing that he is heavily remembered for. But he also crossed a lot of political lines. He was an early guest on California Governor Gavin Newsom's podcast show. So he spoke frequently with Democrats, and he would debate them on these different subjects that sort of captured the attention of social media and began to spread from there.
Yeah, we heard locally Governor Brian Kemp here in Georgia ordering all flags to be flown at half staff. I believe President Trump said that as well. And we've had, an outpouring of anguish from Republican leaders. What have we heard from Democratic political leaders after the Kirk assassination?
Newsom stepped up and condemned the attack. We have former Vice President Kamala Harris, who did the same thing, and former President Joe Biden, as well as Obama and Clinton, who are mourning this loss. You had the Utah Republican Governor Spencer Cox mention that this is going to be treated as a political assassination. And so, both sides, Democrats and Republicans, have really stepped up to condemn political violence nationally.
Ashley Fields from The Hill News Nation joining us live on the Mark Arum Show. Getting word that FBI press conference is going to start in about 3 minutes. Obviously, we'll hopefully get some new information there. But as a reporter covering this story, what are some of the unanswered questions that you hope to get answered at this FBI press conference?
One of the things we're looking for right now is the motive. We know that no gunman has been taken into custody, but we're looking to figure out why this person was there, where this person came from, whether or not they traveled to the site specifically for Kirk's event, or, whether they live in the area and, just plan to attend. So those are some of the things I'm going to be looking at there. We're going to be looking at what footage they've been able to recover from the campus, whether or not the Student Success Center people on site saw him exiting the premises or entering the area with a gun. So those are definitely things I'd look for from this press conference.
Ashley Fields, tough story to cover, but I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
There you go. Ashley Fields from The Hill and News Nation, kicking off our team coverage of the assassination of Charlie Kirk yesterday at Utah Valley University. Brad Garrett is going to join us in just a little bit. Let's go to Judd Higginbotham now as we wait the FBI press conference.
Yeah, it's just starting right now. This is from Orem, Utah, and this is FBI Special Agent Robert Bowles.
Law enforcement has come together as a group to recognize and honor those that sacrificed to preserve the ideals of this country, the freedoms of this country. And instead, we find ourselves today hunting a murderer who chose to violate our rights, the rights of an individual within this country. Just to recap yesterday's events, at around 12:20 p.m., political influencer Charlie Kirk was at Utah Valley University participating in a student-sponsored event with Turning Point USA. Charlie was shot at that event. He was transported to a local hospital where he later passed. Last night, his body was moved to the state office of the medical examiner. We will continue to facilitate movements to get him home today and with his family. Yesterday, during the investigative process, we located a couple of persons of interest. We interviewed those individuals, and after releasing them and after clearing them of being suspects, they faced scrutiny. They faced threats. We asked the public to be patient with the investigative process. These individuals were not suspects. They were people of interest. We ask that you do not impose into those people and that investigative process. They don't deserve that harassment for being subject to that. I'd like to thank all the investigators that are involved in this. They have worked around the clock, all day yesterday, through the night last night. Investigators from the State Bureau of Investigations, from county, from city agencies, the university, our federal partners with the FBI, the ATF, and many others. Those are just a few of the people that we have involved in this. I'd like to thank all of them for their strong work. Through all that work last night, we were able to make a few breakthroughs. We were able to track the movements of the shooter, Starting at 11:52 a.m., this subject arrived on campus, shortly away from campus. We have tracked his movements onto the campus, through the stairwells, up to the roof, across the roof to a shooting location. After the shooting, we were able to track his movements as he moved to the other side of the building, jumped off of the building, and fled off of the campus and into a neighborhood. Our investigators have worked through those neighborhoods, contacting anybody they can with doorbell cameras, witnesses, and have thoroughly worked through those communities, trying to identify any leads. We do have good video footage of this individual. We are not going to release that at this time. We are working through some technologies and some ways to identify this individual. If we are unsuccessful, we will reach out to you as the media and we will push that publicly to help us identify them. But we are confident in our abilities right now, and we would like to move forward in a manner that keeps everyone safe and moves this process appropriately. Last night I communicated with Erica. That family's devastated. As a commissioner of public safety, as a father, as a husband, I can only imagine what that family's going through. The heinous event that happened yesterday is not Utah. This is not what we're known for. Over the past several weeks, we've seen this state come together to help families in mourning, come together as a community to show what Utah is known for a state of character, of service, of camaraderie, of a neighboring feel. We will not stand for what happened yesterday. We are exhausting every lead. We have every officer invested in this, every investigator, every local agency. The outpouring of support from the law enforcement community has been astounding. We are investing everything we have into this, and we will catch this individual. Having walked through the crime scene, through the hallways of this school, through the classrooms, I can't imagine what the people on scene felt as well. A horrific event where some of them barricaded in classrooms, some of them ran in fear. Can't overstate the tragedy and the horrific event that yesterday was, and how we will work to bring to justice the actions of one individual or any other individuals that assisted in that. Our state has gone through a lot, and we will come out successful. With that, I'll turn the time over to Special Agent Bowles in charge.
Good morning. My name is Robert Bowles, and I am the Special Agent in charge of the Salt Lake Field Office. Following yesterday's tragic shooting of Charlie Kirk, FBI agents have been working around the clock in coordination with our law enforcement partners. We are and will continue to work nonstop until we find the person that has committed this heinous crime and find out why they did it. This morning I can tell you that we have recovered what we believe is the weapon that was used in yesterday's shooting. It is a high-powered bolt-action rifle. That rifle was recovered in a wooded area where the shooter had fled. The FBI laboratory will be analyzing this weapon. Investigators have also collected footwear impression, a palm print, and forearm imprints for analysis. Now, I understand there are a lot of questions about motive. I assure you that all leads, tips are being fully investigated. As of this morning, we have received more than 130 tips. We thank the community for that. The FBI has brought every resource to bear, and we will continue to do so throughout the course of this investigation. The FBI's mission is to protect the American people. It's to uphold the Constitution of the United States. Any attack on the First Amendment is an attack on the very foundation of our democracy. That is why we will relentlessly pursue this case and the shooter until we find him. We also continue to grieve with the family and the community. It's our community. If you have any video or images from the shooting, We ask you to please submit them to our digital media tip website at www.fbi.gov/Utah Valley Shooting. You can also call the FBI at 1-800-CALL-FBI. We truly rely on the public's help in these types of cases, and no tip is too small or insignificant. Thank you.
Absolutely. So what I'll release about the suspect is suspect blended in well with a college institution. And we're not releasing many details right now, and we will soon. But right now we're not. But that individual appears to be of college age. We are confident in our abilities to track that individual. If we're unsuccessful in identifying them immediately, we will reach out for the public's help and the media's help in pushing those photos. That was a new development overnight, working through the night, studying those cameras. So that's something that's new and that we're working through right now. As far as the security, I cannot speak to that. Neither the Department of Public Safety nor the Federal Bureau of Investigation was involved in the planning or security of this event, and that'll have to be a question later for other agencies.
So that's a good question, and it's a question that goes to the safety of the community, right? No, not in those woods. We've walked through those woods and secured it. As to the community, I can tell you that this was a targeted event. We don't believe that the community is at risk. However, we are exhausting every resource to find him, and we will do so. So I can't comment specifically on his face or any details such as that, as it's continuing to be a part of the investigation, and again, we'll release that shortly. However, we're doing everything we can to find him, and we're not sure how far he has gone yet, but we will do our best. We have images of the suspect. Again, as part of the investigation, we're not releasing any details such as that right now. We are exhausting all of our resources to be able to collect those, but that's, again, part of the investigation. Excuse me? We are working on that, but again, part of the investigation that I can't release. Not at all. We've got complete and total support from everyone, from the director on down, and it's been an incredible supportive environment so far. All I can say is that we're working the investigation the best we have with the environment we're given. So thank you.
All right, that was the FBI briefing of the search for the shooter of conservative activist Charlie Kirk, the fatal shooting yesterday in Orem, Utah. We'll have much more on this as we head through the day, but basically Utah Public Safety Commissioner Bo Mason saying they have good footage of the shooter. They are not releasing it at this time. They continue to look for him. And then FBI Special Agent in Charge Robert Bowles saying they've recovered the weapon. It was found, a high-powered rifle found in some nearby woods where the shooter fled. They also have some shoe impressions along with hand impressions as well. They've received over 130 tips, but they continue to look for the shooter at this time, not giving away a ton of information as they continue to search in the area. They do say they do not believe the shooter is in that wooded area, but they are not sure where he is. They have good video surveillance of it, but they are not releasing it at this time. We'll have much more on this coming up in the bottom of the hour, Mark.
Yeah, Judd, you took the exact notes that I had from that press conference. The headlines to me is, and I wrote exclamation point, they have video of the shooter, and whatever technology they have at the FBI and NSA, they don't even feel the need to release any pictures yet. That shows me they have confidence they know who this perpetrator is. Another big headline you mentioned, they have the weapon. Long-range bolt-action rifle, I believe, is how they referred to it. So they do have evidence. They've got video of the suspect. They've got the weapon. You mentioned heel prints and elbow prints. And so, I mean, that's more information than I thought they would have because of the chaotic scene yesterday at that campus at Utah Valley University. So very critical updates there. They've cleared the woods. They did mention that this was a person that appears to be of college age and was able to blend in with the thousands that were there for the Charlie Kirk event at Utah Valley University. So, and I didn't. Did they say a male, Judd? I don't remember.
I don't think they're giving away that information.
Okay,
yeah.
But I assume. I mean, man, that's dumb to make the assumption, but we're assuming it's now a college-age male. They say they recovered the weapon, but they can't say yet who the gun was registered to or who owned the weapon. So, in my opinion, some positive developments on the investigation right here, because with the head start that the suspect had after the two people were taken into custody, I thought they might not be able to gather any evidence. But the fact that they have video of the suspect and they're so confident that they don't need to release anything to the public or the media to help find out more information, which tells me they are very confident that they know who this person is. So obviously, big updates there on the assassination of Charlie Kirk. They have video of the suspect. They have recovered the weapon. And they're not too worried about the safety of the folks in the area. They've cleared the woods where they recovered the gun. They did mention, though, that there were two suspects earlier. This was at the beginning. This was before the FBI guy took the stage. Ben Mason from the Utah Department of Public Safety. Two people were stopped for questioning and then released. And he basically said, hey, they're not suspects. They were persons of interest. They've been cleared. Basically saying back off those two individuals. They did not perpetrate this crime. So obviously some brand new information there. We're going to go over that. Any more updates from the FBI or law enforcement authorities in Utah, we will bring them to you live here on 95.5 WSB. Again, just the horrific assassination of Charlie Kirk yesterday at a college campus in Utah. Coming up after news, weather, and traffic, I had a conversation earlier before this press conference with Brad Garrett, ABC News crime and terrorism analyst. But I think what Brad has to say is still appropriate, despite the new information we just got from the FBI. So we're going to continue our team coverage of the Kirk assassination. And still to come, 24 years ago today, tragedy struck the United States, the 24th annual remembrance of 9/11. We'll continue with that next on The Mark Arum Show.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
And it is 9:30. I'm Judd Hickenbotham. News this half hour is brought to you by Beaver Toyota of Cumming. Of course, our top story just finished up this FBI press briefing from Orem, Utah, following the shooting death yesterday of political activist Charlie Kirk, shot and killed on the campus of Utah Valley State during a Q&A event with students. Shooting has been called a political assassination, and they continue to search for the shooter. We just heard from FBI Special Agent in Charge Robert Bowles with some information about what they're looking for and what they have found.
This morning I can tell you that we have recovered what we believe is the weapon that was used in yesterday's shooting. It is a high-powered bolt-action rifle.
Yes, that is a Special Agent Bowles. He said that the shooter is of college age. That's what he said, the specific words, college age. They found that rifle in a wooded area. They have also found some shoe impressions of the shooter, along with some hand impressions as well. They say the shooter is no longer in those nearby woods near Utah Valley State, but they still don't know where that shooter is. We also heard from Utah Public Safety Commissioner Bo Mason, who says they have good video footage of the shooter. possibly of the shooter's face. They are not releasing that footage at this time as they continue to look for the person who shot and killed political activist Charlie Kirk. This is definitely a very active situation there in Orem, Utah, following yesterday's shooting death of Kirk, and we will have much more on this story as it unfolds through the day and through the next few days as they search for the shooter there in Utah. Much more as we head through the day here on 95.5 WSB. Covering some other stories around the area as well. This morning's latest economic report that was released just an hour ago, showing the highest inflation rate in the U.S. since January.
The CPI for August shows inflation rising 0.4% from July and 2.9% from August of last year. The biggest driver of the increase, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, was the cost of shelter. But prices rose last month for new and used vehicles, clothing, and airfares as well.
That is correspondent Jim Ryan now checking this morning's impact on Wall Street from the CPI, and it shows the Dow is up about 150 points right now. The S&P up as well. The Nasdaq up 90 points. The CPI report, of course, is one of the last indicators before the Federal Reserve meets next week, possibly, and a lot of experts believe this will happen, to cut interest rates by at least 1/4 of a point. Elsewhere, a high-speed chase on I-75 ends with a crash that critically injures a Clayton County deputy.
State Patrol investigators say the pursuit involved a white Infiniti eluding deputies and traveling at high speeds as it made its way south on the interstate. It ended when the driver struck the cab of a tractor-trailer, sending the big rig into the path of the pursuing deputy's car. That collision flipped the deputy's car and sent it into the guardrail. EMS crews rushed the injured deputy to Grady Hospital, where colleagues gathered, including Clayton County Sheriff Levon Allen. The truck driver and driver of a bystander vehicle were treated for minor injuries. The Infiniti driver was uninjured in the incident. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
All right, it is 9:33. Time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. First to the WSB 24-hour traffic center we go, and Mike Shields.
Just still watching a crash in 2 left lanes, 285 northbound, the inner loop at Highway 166, exit 5. Delays back to Washington Road, exit 1. You can take 85 north by the airport as an alternate to the downtown connector. Crash still working in at least 1 left lane, maybe 2 left lanes, connector northbound, right at 166. This report is brought to you by Blindster.com. Blindster.com is a family business making custom blinds, shades, and shutters. Give them a try and see why over 1 million windows have trusted Blindster. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Epwards. Partly cloudy and warming up to a high of 87 for this afternoon. Lows tonight in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, hotter still, high near 90. Saturday, mostly sunny skies, morning lows in the mid-60s, daytime highs in the upper 80s to low 90s.
Currently 68 degrees in Snellville, 67 in Kennesaw. It is 70 degrees now in Midtown Atlanta at 9:34. More news at 10, breaking news when it happens. I'm Judd Hickenbotham, 95.5 WSB.
On air,
Online,
on the app,
where you get your news.
is where you'll win.
Download the WSB radio app now and maybe win $1,000.
All right, thank you.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
5 words. 5 times a day. Every weekday.
Oh, my word.
Just enter the word at WSBradio.com or on the WSB radio app. The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
Your next chance to win is at 10 a.m.
This is detestable, what's happened. Political violence has become all too common in American society, and this is not who we are.
That's Speaker of the House Mike Johnson reacting to the assassination of Mr. Kirk. We'll continue our coverage. ABC News crime and terrorism analyst Brad Garrett joins us next on The Mark Arum Show.
Hi, I'm Dallas, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. You know she loves her Shane Company engagement ring, but you also want to surprise her for her birthday, anniversary, or just because she deserves it. Why not get her a bigger diamond with our Easy Trade-Up program? We'll give you the full credit of your original natural diamond purchase toward a new one. Her new diamond only has to be $1 more. You only pay the difference. How's that for an easy trade-up? Visit us in-store or at shaneco.com. Because a friend wants you to win the gifting game. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
They say nothing is certain except death and taxes, but in Georgia, add roaches to that list. They are absolutely everywhere. Mark Arum here for Breda Pest Management, the folks I trust to get rid of roaches in my home. Many companies have stopped going inside homes and they raised their prices. Doing less, charging more, ridiculous. Breda, they handle bugs and critters inside and outside like those disgusting roaches.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs. I've found your next go-to service team for Porsche, Mercedes-Benz, BMW, Audi. It's Wolf Pen European Auto Repair in Roswell. Honest pricing with certified factory techs who won't run up the tab with repairs you don't need. See the difference when you search Wolf Pen Auto Repair.
It's the Love Your Home Minute from TE Certified. Hi, it's Chris Chandler with Josh, the local owner of TE Certified Electrical, Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. You know, Josh, that's him you see jumping out of the back of their trucks. Josh, welcome. About that time of year, tell me what you have installed outside your house that really makes you love your home.
My landscape lights, they're beautiful and they're safe. I love at night being able to pull up to my house and seeing how pretty it is. And of course, I like being able to see my way from the car to the door. I love at night when I go outside to let the dog out, or if I'm checking on something, I can actually see. And to be quite honest, I love it when my neighbors say, man, your house looks amazing.
It's fun to make the neighbors jealous.
A little bit, yeah.
What kind of different, sort of lighting choices are there? Fixtures and bulbs and brightness and all that?
So we do uplights on the side of the house. We do path lights. We do spotlights on trees. We do accent lighting as well.
Wow, outdoor lighting sounds like a bright idea, Josh, and a great way to love your home.
TE Certified, we love your home.
Love me do. You know I love you. 9:37 on the Mark Arum Show. Complete coverage of the Charlie Kirk assassination. Again, if you're just joining us, we had the, that's a good, love today. We need to talk about love. Welcome back to the show. Just had that press conference from the FBI. New developments and fascinating new information about the assassination yesterday at Utah Valley University. The FBI says they have video of the suspect, and they're using some sort of technology to identify him, but they're so confident in their identification process, they are not yet releasing pictures to the media, the general public, to help find this individual. They said it appeared to be someone of college age, not a college student, but someone that could blend into the crowd that was at Utah Valley University. And they also have recovered the weapon, bolt-action rifle. Again, the shot was taken from about 200 yards. And my frames of measurement, Deborah, have absolutely everything to do with sports.
Yes.
So for me, 200 yards, that's 2 football fields long. That's a long shot. And obviously, with the accuracy of the shot, we can assume the shooter had some sort of history or ability to make that shot from such a long distance. But again, the FBI has video of the suspect, so which is great news, because I didn't think they'd be able to recover anything because of the chaotic scene that happened yesterday in Utah. Any new developments on that situation, we will bring them to you live. It is 9/11 too. 24 years since the horrific actions in Pennsylvania, in Washington, D.C., and in New York City. A little bit later on the show, we're going to check in with Michael Wallace, who at the time was a reporter for the Wall Street Journal across the street from the Twin Towers. And he's going to revisit what his morning was like 24 years ago. But I want to continue our conversation and coverage of the Charlie Kirk assassination. Now, this is a recorded interview that I did before the show with Brad Garrett, ABC News crime and terrorism analyst. So this interview happened before we got that new information from the FBI, but I think there's valuable insight into this investigation still. So this is the interview I recorded with Brad just before the show today, before the FBI briefing. Brad, I've been calling this an assassination of Charlie Kirk. Is that the proper term to use, do you think?
It certainly feels that way, Mark. The idea that you had a single shot that was so precise that it doesn't appear, at least to us out here in the public, the police have leads. Does it feel to me like it was pre-planned with a shooter that knew how to get in and out of a location without being easily suspected? And for lack of better terms, a professional at what they're doing, or at least extremely proficient. And this is not the type of person, I don't think, they're not going to show up on social media. We always look for in these shootings postings and, people aligning themselves with whatever their ideology might be. You're not going to have this, I don't think, with this person, that they were sent to do this. Now, sent means who is that, obviously? Well, who knows? You'd have to expand, Mark, your reach, and this is where the FBI comes in, beyond the confines of the state of Utah. because did somebody order this from afar? Obviously I don't know, but I would be looking I would push heavily on the intelligence community to see what they can come up with. And continuing to search on the ground, they're going to do that. But if this person was that careful, there may not be many clues to be found.
Yeah, no doubt. Now, the suspect still let loose. How dangerous is that suspect right now?
If he or she fits sort of the profile you and I are kicking around, they're only probably going to be dangerous to whoever kicks in their door. But, are they going around assassinating people? I mean, this doesn't strike me as some deranged person that's, living in his mother's basement. This really has more of a flavor of somebody that was, went there with the intention of doing what they did, but in a very sort of secretive way. And obviously sniper shots can create a challenge in and of themselves because they're such a distance away from the victim. So we'll see how this sorts out.
I mean, there was security at the campus of the college, even in plain clothed law enforcement officers in the crowd. But aside from a full Secret Service detail, was there any way to prevent this from happening?
No. I mean, if you had advanced intelligence or Charlie was under threats from you could maybe convince the city or county police to put their SWAT snipers on a roof or two. I mean, that's happened before. But is that realistic at an event like this? College students, outdoors. It's not something that you would routinely do. And I do think, Mark, it's going to change the face of how people have these gatherings. I mean, how can you afford to do them outside? And then they always were a challenge. I mean, look at what happened to President Trump in the fall with all of his Secret Service details and Secret Service snipers on the roof. So it's a huge challenge, and it's again another reminder of where we are and how volatile things have become.
Brad Garrett, I wish we talk on covering better stories, but as always, we appreciate your insight, my friend.
You're welcome. Take care, Mark.
Again, that was Brad Garrett. I interviewed before the show, before the FBI news conference. And again, if you're just joining us, the main headlines from the FBI briefing, there is video of the suspect, believed to be of college age, which would lend in his ability or her ability, I don't think they gave a gender yet, to blend in with the college age crowd, thousands there to witness the Charlie Kirk event at Utah Valley University. They do have a weapon. They do have other evidence. And the fact that they are so confident in the video that they have of the suspect and the technology, I'm assuming facial recognition technology, that they are not requesting help from the public to find the suspect. Now, the manhunt's still going on, but Deborah, that's got to tell you that if they're not saying, hey, this is the suspect, right? I mean, when Lincoln was shot, like they had picked the drawings of the, so they are obviously very confident that they know or can figure out who this individual is without the help of the media and the general public, which to me is remarkable because I don't know if you guys were watching the coverage yesterday or were you aware of what was going on.
Oh yeah.
I just walked Soba and I was about to take a nap. And I was on social medias, on Twitter, and I saw it, and, the headline, Charlie Kirk shot, and that was it. I mean, I stayed up from that point till 9 p.m., and the video, which I believe has now been taken down off of X Twitter, the close-up shot was, I mean, just nauseatingly horrific of the single shot that took out Charlie Kirk, and it was, I mean, literally nauseous. And I believe they've taken that video down for the most part, which it was extremely graphic. And when I saw that, I was like, wow, I don't think he's going to make it. And then we had reports that he was at the hospital in critical condition and there was hope. And then President Trump posted on Truth Social that he had passed away. But again, I was watching the coverage. I was flipping between the news channels. I'm on social media. And did you see the video of who they first apprehended? It was an older, bald, white male. And I was like, wow, like that was not who I expected the suspect to be. But I saw, especially on X and Twitter, which can be a really vile place, people saying, I can't believe the crowd let him live. Why didn't they just kill him on the spot, et cetera? If I was there, I would have. And he wasn't. he's not the suspect. I don't even know why he was. But just to show you, like, I know. Listen, it's a time to grieve. It's a time to mourn. It's a time to pray, and it's a time for patience. Right? You can't jump to conclusions until we know more about the story. And that just not goes for this story, but any breaking news story. I mean, we had another school shooting yesterday in Colorado. Again, you can't have these knee-jerk reactions on social media. Well, I want to go back and find all those people. Like, I would have killed that guy right on the spot, the old bald guy that had nothing to do with it. Don't even waste money on a trial. Like, just kill him right. And he's not, he was just, so grieve, mourn, pray, patience until we get more information. In case you missed it, I'm going to play some audio here. This is Bo Mason, commissioner from the Utah Department of Public Safety. He was the first person that spoke at the press conference.
We were able to track the movements of the shooter. Starting at 11:52 a.m., the subject arrived on campus, shortly away from campus. We have tracked his movements onto the campus, through the stairwells, up to the roof, across the roof to a shooting location. After the shooting, we were able to track his movements as he moved to the other side of the building, jumped off of the building, and fled off of the campus and into a neighborhood.
Yeah, God bless those security cameras. So now once they identified where the shot came from, again, 200 yards away, they're saying, they were able to go through the security cameras on campus. I would imagine most college campuses, they can track you forever. There's got to be a ton of security cameras. And they were able to backtrack and find out when he entered the suspect entered the campus and track him to the roof. And it sounded like from that press conference we heard from the FBI and there, Bo Mason, commissioner of the Utah Department of Public Safety, they have a good idea, a really good idea who that suspect is, but the manhunt continues. We'll continue our team coverage of the Kirk assassination, and it is 9/11, so we're going to go in depth remembering that fateful morning 24 years ago today. Right now, though, we go check the roads on this Thursday morning. Live with the latest, here's Mike Shields.
And Mark, some better news in southwest Atlanta. Crash was in two left lanes for nearly an hour. Just moved to the right shoulder. 285 northbound, the inner loop at Highway 166, Langford Parkway, exit 5. Delays 4 miles back to Washington Road, exit 1. And a crash clearing from the HOV lane connector northbound at 166. This support is brought to you by Whole Foods Market. Shop organics at Whole Foods Market. Get organic black, red, and green seedless grapes for $2.99 per pound with Prime through September 16th. While supplies last, shop in store, online, terms apply. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
When traffic
No
hits,
traffic getting through in either direction.
the Triple Team Traffic Center has you covered.
Even the bridge over 75 is being held.
Your source for Atlanta's traffic.
Traffic out of Spaghetti Junction along 285 westbound and a crash on Peachtree Boulevard, 141 southbound before 285.
Brought to you by the Cool Ray Lifetime Parts and Labor Warranty.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
That nagging joint pain, you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes it's from years of hard work. Sometimes it's an old injury that just never healed right. Either way, it's been calling the shots in your life for too long. But that stops right now. I'm Mark Airman. QC Kinetics is here to flip that script. They use regenerative medicine, advanced cellular treatments that help your body heal and restore the damage in your joints, not cover it up, not cut it out, actually helping heal and restore. And the results, long-term, lasting relief. QC Kinetics, no surgery, no drugs, no long recovery, just a smarter, natural way to get your freedom back. Bring your MRIs, your x-rays, and they'll make sure you're a good candidate. Your first consultation, it's free, friends, so there's no reason to wait. Call QC Kinetics, 770-285-8026. That's 770-285-8026. Decatur, Lawrenceville, Sandy Springs, Marietta, Stockbridge, and Douglasville. Appointments available on Saturday. 770-285-8026.
Welcome to Window Wisdom with North Georgia Replacement Windows. Today, we're talking with the experts about Infinity from Marvin Fiberglass Windows. Ted Kirk and Jonathan Cullum, owners of North Georgia Replacement Windows.
What's the difference in price shopping versus making an investment when it comes to shopping for windows?
If you're just price shopping, you will likely end up with an inferior product and installation, and your windows will likely need to be replaced again. With your investment in Infinity Fiberglass windows, you get a superior product and replace your windows with windows you'll never need to replace.
With all the different home styles in Georgia, how does the Infinity window match up?
Designed by a wood window architect at Marvin, Infinity Fiberglass windows fit the look of your home like traditional wood windows, but don't rot. There's also less window frame, so they appeal to contemporary homeowners too. Less frame equals more light and bigger views.
What about the warranty on the Infinity Fiberglass windows?
Infinity for Marvin Fiberglass windows are the only premium window with a limited lifetime warranty. Backed by a company that's been in business for over 100 years, North Georgia Replacement Windows also has a lifetime service warranty.
So, Jonathan, how does someone find out more about the Infinity Fiberglass windows? What's the process?
We're the only authorized retailer in Georgia for the Infinity Fiberglass windows, where we can provide a free in-home consultation and proposal with no gimmicks.
Jonathan and Ted, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge, experience, and expertise. And right now at North Georgia Replacement Windows, it's time to huddle up for huge savings. You'll enjoy 17% off your project, plus up to 12 months no interest, no payment financing. That's 17% off your project, plus up to 12 months no interest, no payments. Hurry, offers end 9/30/2025. Visit our beautiful showroom in Alpharetta to see all the possibilities. And also visit ngwindows.com. ngwindows.com.
Infinity from Marvin, replacement windows, yeah!
My name is Maria. Okay, I lied, it's Mary. But I'm feeling more European after my European-style holiday on MSC Cruises. The ristoranti, I mean restaurants, nightlife and shops in La Galleria, and of course, American touches, like a sports bar and water slides. Bellissimo. Okay, this is a problem.
Book now and save up to 30% off, plus kids sale free. MSC Cruises. Let's holiday. To book, visit msccruises.com or contact your travel advisor. Restrictions apply. Ships registered in Panama and Malta.
If critters are creeping in your attic, better call Breda to kick those critters out. With the Breda Wildlife Guarantee, if they return, you're covered at no additional cost.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
You know what you want to do in retirement, but do you know how to get there? Tune in to Retire Ready with David Nicholas of Nicholas Wealth Management Saturday at 6 to get answers to your retirement. Nicholas Wealth is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard joining MediShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network, so yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE. That's the sound of taps being played at the Pentagon 9/11 ceremony right now, 24 years since the horrific terrorist attack here in the United States. President Trump's at the ceremony, and he is going to speak at the 9/11 memorial at the Pentagon in just a couple of minutes. From the Pentagon to D.C., 24 years ago today, obviously, the terrorist attack on the World Trade Center site. As they do every year, they read the victims' names aloud.
William F. Abrahamson.
Richard Anthony Aceto.
Bernard Ackerman.
Paul Aquaviva.
Christian Adams.
Donald Leroy Adams.
Almost 3,000 victims at the World Trade Center site. And what was really emotional, Deborah, and this happens every year, is you have kids there who were like toddlers when their parents died in the World Trade Center, and they go back now, and they're adults. You know, they're 26, 27 years old, and memorializing their parents that lost their life. If we can, Andrew, real quickly, President Trump speaking at the 9/11 memorial in the Pentagon.
My wife Eric and his beautiful children,
fantastic people they are. We miss him greatly, yet I have no doubt that Charlie's voice and the courage he put into the hearts of countless people, especially young people, will live on. I'm pleased to announce that I will soon be awarding Charlie Kirk posthumously the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
Wow. All right, breaking news there. President Trump, speaking of Charlie Kirk's going to award him the Presidential Medal of Freedom, Honor. I forgot I apologize for that. He called it freedom. He called Charlie Kirk a giant. This is President Trump remembering Charlie Kirk a day after his assassination while he's set to give comments at the 9/11 memorial at the Pentagon. 24 years ago today, Michael Wallace from CBS was outside of the two trade centers collapse. He's going to remember what he saw that fateful morning in Lower Manhattan. We'll talk to Michael Wallace next on The Mark Arum Show.
WSB Atlanta, WSBB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
I often joke with my wife that I'm on a fixed income, right? I get the same paycheck every week. Hey, it's Mark Arum here. If you are on fixed income like I am, nothing better than a price guarantee, knowing what you're going to pay month to month, or how about year to year, or how about year to year to year to year to year. 5-year price guarantee from my friends at Xfinity. Unbelievable. One internet price, 5 years guaranteed. Life is unpredictable, but the price of your internet shouldn't be. Get a reliable price for a reliable connection. All in all, it means you get Wi-Fi equipment and unlimited data included. Change is always happening. You don't have to get a change on your internet price from my friends at Xfinity. It's the 5-year price guarantee. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. To get started, visit Xfinity.com or drop into Xfinity store today. Xfinity, the Wi-Fi is booming.
If your floors feel bouncy and uneven, it's time for AquaGuard Foundation Solutions Crawl Space Experts. Simply go to aquaguard.net and set up an appointment. It's fast and it's easy, and your floors will appreciate you. AquaGuard, the trusted local experts. Remember, AquaGuard.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Dial #law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
Don't wear 4 sweatshirts at home this winter because your old furnace isn't up to snuff. Get a brand new one thanks to my pals at Reliable. Hey, it's Mark Arum with you. Check this amazing offer going on right now. Any size furnace, just $59.99 a month, 0 down, low monthly payments, unbeatable lifetime warranty, next day installation guaranteed, or they pay you $500. ReliableAir.com. Book an appointment or call or text 770-594-9969.
News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hi there, good morning. It is 10 o'clock. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by TE Certified Electrical Plumbing, Heating, and Air. Our top story here at 10 o'clock.
We were calling everyone. We didn't know what to do, and then we finally met up with them, and it was just so scary.
A manhunt underway in Utah this hour for the person who shot and killed conservative activist and influencer Charlie Kirk. We have learned more about the suspect.
The suspect blended in well with a college institution. And we're not releasing many details right now, and we will soon. but that individual appears to be of college age.
The FBI just now wrapping up a briefing last hour. Here's what we know about the investigation so far.
CBS News special report. Investigators are making headway as they hunt for the shooter who assassinated conservative activist Charlie Kirk during an outdoor debate at Utah Valley University yesterday. The FBI's special agent in charge, Robert Bowles.
This morning I can tell you that we have recovered what we believe is the weapon that was used in yesterday's shooting. It is a high-powered bolt-action rifle.
He says they've also found a footprint, hand, and forearm impressions, which are being analyzed now. Utah Public Safety Commissioner Bo Mason.
After the shooting, we were able to track his movements as he moved to the other side of the building, jumped off of the building, and fled off of the campus and into a neighborhood.
Mason says the suspect appears to be of college age who blended in on campus. Those officials say their teams will work around the clock until they find him. They've received more than 130 tips so far. CBS News special report. I'm Deborah Rodriguez.
All right, so your weather for today, a mix of clouds and sun. Going to be a little warmer today. Afternoon highs around 87, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. She'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up in just about 2 minutes. Today marks 24 years since the September 11th attacks in New York, Pennsylvania, and Washington, D.C. Happening right now, President Trump is delivering remarks at the Pentagon. 2,977 innocent people lost their lives that day. Here in Atlanta this hour, a ceremony is getting underway at the south wing of the state capitol. There are events held across the metro area and the country today. The Hall County Sheriff's Office this morning launching a professionally produced video as part of a public safety education program on scam prevention. It's targeting seniors. This after a growing number of seniors there falling victim to scam artists.
Scammers prey on trust, fear, and confusion, but you can stop them with one thing.
Now, the video features Hall County Sheriff Gerald Couch. This video on social media also being shown at community meetings in the county. The latest numbers from FBI show seniors lost nearly $5 billion to fraud in 2024. That's a significant increase from the previous year. Atlanta paying the highest average ATM fees out of all the major metro areas surveyed. Bankrate financial analyst Stephen Cates says the average combined fee for bank customers here is $5.37 per transaction.
Shopping around is a necessity. You know, you want to find not only just a bank, but also a bank account that's going to fit your financial life. And there's many different flavors of that.
He also recommends that you plan ahead and make sure that you use your own bank's ATM. More Americans are filing for unemployment. The Labor Department says it's received 263,000 initial requests in the week ending September 6th. That is up 27,000 from the week before. Most analysts had been expecting today's number to come in right there around 235,000. As we take a look at the markets, we're in the green right now. The Dow's up 476 at 45,967. So the Dow's up more than a full percent. NASDAQ and S&P also in the green. Time for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Smile and Mark McKay joining us now with a look at your roads.
All right, Sabrina, the west side perimeter is going to recover. We had a couple of left lanes knocked out with a crash, 285 northbound. The inner loop at Highway 166, Langford Parkway, exit 5. All lanes back open live on the Jam Cam. Still going to be slow as you work your way out of East Point College Park, heading north into downtown Atlanta. You're rolling past a crash on I-75 northbound north of Cleveland Avenue. That's just before the downtown connector and the connector itself slow past I-20. Improving headed south into the city. 75 is okay. 85 is slow approaching 400, and 400 a bit slow out of Buckhead at Sidney Marcus Boulevard rolling southbound. Smile and Mark McKay, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly cloudy, hotter today with a high of 87. Lows tonight in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, high near 90. Saturday, sunny skies, morning lows in the mid-60s, daytime highs in the upper 80s to low 90s.
71 degrees right now in Roswell, 70 in Jefferson. Stockbridge, you have 73 degrees. We'll have more news at 10:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Welcome back, friends. 10:05 on a very difficult edition of the Mark Arum Show with you till noon. I will give you a keyword in the 5K day bonus blitz in just a couple of minutes. Chance for you to $1,000 on this. It's a difficult day. Probably, more so in probably the last 24 years as we remember 9/11 because of the events that happened yesterday, the assassination of Charlie Kirk at Utah Valley University, obviously still developing story. In case you're just joining us, we had a joint press conference between the FBI and the Utah Department of Public Safety. This is Robert Bowles, FBI special agent in charge of the Salt Lake City field office, and he is in charge of the Kirk shooting investigation.
This morning I can tell you that we have recovered what we believe is the weapon that was used in yesterday's shooting. It is a high-powered bolt-action rifle. That rifle was recovered in a wooded area where the shooter had fled. So the FBI laboratory will be analyzing this weapon.
Yeah, the big headline there, they've recovered the weapon and they have multiple videos of the suspect. College-age suspect is all we know. But the fact that the FBI is not putting the images out of the suspect because they feel pretty confident they know who this individual is, to me, that is very telling that they have some solid leads on who perpetrated that horrific act yesterday at Utah Valley University. Complete updates and continuous updates of the Kirk assassination throughout the day on 95.5 WSB. If we get any new information, we will pass it along on the air. And you can just check WSBradio.com throughout your workday to get the very latest there on that horrible situation, which makes this, for me anyway, personally, this 9/11 remembrance even worse than it has been in years past. I said at the top of the show, and I think it bears repeating, I remember 9/11 vividly. I was here at WSB Radio. I'll take you through my morning 24 years ago, a little bit later on in the show. But the day after 9/11 to me was one of the most memorable, if not the most memorable day of my life. That would be September 12th, 2001, because in my 51 years on this planet, as an American, I've never felt closer to my fellow Americans than I did on September 12th. The way we came together after those terrorist attacks was remarkable. There were no party affiliations. There was no left, right, center. We were united as Americans. And then day by day, month by month, year by year, that closeness, that tightness that we had on September 12th has been dissipating. Incrementally, sometimes, or in big leaps and bounds, oftentimes. And that's what we saw yesterday, I think. We are so far away from where we were from September 12th, 2001 to where we are now, September 11th, 2025. This is the furthest I believe this country has been pulled apart. What can get us back to that unity, that patriotism, that we are one nation that we had on September 12th, 2001? I don't know what, if anything, can do it. Can the tragic assassination of Charlie Kirk be a step of reunification, of all of us realizing what the heck are we doing? Can it be an opportunity to mend fences, to have civil discussions about what it means to be an American, what this nation is striving to be? Are we still striving to be a more perfect union? That's what the founding fathers wanted. And man, September 12th, 2021, I wish we could bottle that feeling we had. Sure, we were, in fear. We didn't know what was going to happen next. But dang, we were one nation. No one wanted to mess with us on September 12th, 2001. There was solidarity. And then bit by bit, day by day, month by month, horrific act by horrific act, we're pulling apart. Can we snap back like a rubber band and come back together? What could bring us together with the same sense of unity we felt 24 years ago? I don't know, but we have to do something. We have to do something. After yesterday, man. Just nauseating. Political violence. I don't know, Deborah. I wasn't alive in the 60s, but is this what the 60s were like? Where you had the JFK, MLK, RFK, Malcolm X, the assassinations after assassinations. Are we reliving the 60s? Is this a transition period like the 60s were in the United States?
Gosh, That's hard to imagine having to go back to something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have answers. If you were tuning in to get answers, I don't have one. I don't have an answer after another school shooting. I don't have an answer after the Charlie Kirk assassination. I have observations, and through my eyes, we are more divided than ever in my life. And that's saying a lot. We've had some divisive times in the last 51 years. But goodness gracious, we were one nation under God, indivisible on September 12th, 2021. Can we ever get back there again? We're going to check in with Michael Wallace from CBS in a second, but I do want to give away $1,000 right now. 5K Day Bonus Blitz, 10 a.m. keyword ticket, Ticket, ticket. Enter the keyword ticket into the WSB Radio app or WSBradio.com/cash. You have until 10:30 a.m. to enter the keyword, win $1,000. Keyword is ticket. Don't forget, if you get a phone call after 10:30 from a number you do not recognize, pick it up. Could be us telling you won $1,000. Keyword is ticket, Ticket. Good luck, my friends. All right, again, we'll continue to provide updates on the assassination of Charlie Kirk yesterday. Right now, though, I want to continue our remembrance of 9/11. Joining us from CBS News, it's Michael Wallace. Michael, take me back 24 years ago this morning. Where were you and what did you witness?
Yeah, I was there, unfortunately, Mark, working for the now defunct Wall Street Journal radio network in the World Financial Center across the street from the Trade Center. Evacuated our building after the second plane hit. Stood about a block away with thousands of others on the sidewalk and street, unfortunately watching the jumpers and wondering how they were going to put that fire out, and then running for our lives when the first building came down.
At what point did you know, okay, this isn't just a one-off plane crash, that this was terrorism?
Oh, the second plane hit. I was actually on the air for the Wall Street Journal with another station talking about the first plane when the anchor interrupted me and said, "Oh my God, a second plane." I didn't have a window in my studio to see what she was talking about, but I knew right away this is an attack, and I said, "Sorry guys, I got to go." And my coworkers and I made our way down the 15 flights of stairs and got out of our building.
How far away from your studio there at the Wall Street Journal radio to the Twin Towers?
Oh gosh, a football field at the most.
Wow.
After the first plane, a lot of us went over to our side, the side of our building where we could see the Trade Center. So it was a gruesome scene. Even after that first plane struck, we could see body parts on the ground and an airplane engine and people running and screaming, and so we had unfortunately a pretty good view of it right from the start.
At that point, are you a radio reporter or are you a citizen scared and saying, "Hey, I've got to get out of Lower Manhattan"?
After the first plane hit, I was a radio reporter talking to several of our affiliates at the time. After the second plane hit, I was a human being who wanted to survive. So as soon as the second plane hit, we all evacuated and headed downstairs to the street where we thought, we were just going to watch all day as they tried to put that fire out. Little did we know, those buildings would come down.
Michael Wallace joining us here on the Mark Arum Show, remembering 9/11. Were you still in the area when the first tower fell?
Yes, I was about a block away. Actually, my coworkers and I was with a couple of my coworkers, and we were just saying out loud how, boy, our spouses must be watching this and really worried about us, knowing where we are. Very few people's phones were working. Few people had cell phones back then. And a young woman who happened to be standing next to me said, "Hey, I live in this building right here behind us if you want to borrow my phone." So I said, "Sure." So we went up to her apartment, which I think was on the 10th or 12th floor. And as I was talking to my father on her phone is when the building started coming down, and I had to hang up on him. She had her television on, so we turned around and saw what was happening on her TV, and then we ran down to the street, and I rejoined my coworkers who were in the lobby of her building, and then we ran through that big dust cloud that you've seen a million times on video, and headed for the Hudson River.
September 11, 2001. You're working in Manhattan. Where were you living at the time, Michael?
I was living in Northwest New Jersey. My wife was working in Fort Lee, New Jersey, which is right by the base of the George Washington Bridge there. So she was watching all this on television. When she saw that first building come down, and again, I didn't have any way of contacting her. I didn't have a phone at the time. She just assumed I was dead. So her employer actually later in the day brought her a grief counselor. And then I finally long in the day later, I was able to get a ferry over to Jersey City across the Hudson.
Yeah.
And I stood in line for about an hour and a half for the one payphone that was working in the area. And I finally called her about 3 o'clock. And that's the first time she realized that I was still here.
Now, I've heard, nightmares about folks evacuating lower Manhattan on September 11th. You were able to get that ferry. Was it Battery Park City? Is that where the ferry leaves from to go to?
Exactly. Yeah. We were there. By instinct, I think a lot of us ran to that park. There's a railing that goes right along the river there. It's actually a beautiful area. I think a lot of us ran there. My thought was, when that building first starts coming down, you don't know if it's pancaking. You don't know if it's falling over in your direction. So I think a lot of us ran for the river with the thought of maybe jumping into it if we had to. That didn't have to happen, of course. That wasn't necessary. But a lot of us hung out in Battery Park City for a while, and it was chaos. There were some lovely restaurant owners who were walking around. I remember one of them handed me a popsicle. You got to remember, we were all covered in this dirt. We had breathed it all in. Mm-hmm. My throat was killing me with whatever was in my throat. People were walking around with bottled water to hand out. A lot of great things there. But there were also, I remember at one point a police officer yelling, "We have to evacuate the island. Gas mains have been exposed, and the whole lower Manhattan could blow up." You didn't know what to believe. So we were waiting for a ferry to get over to Jersey City. They were holding those to bring over injured people, very few of which actually ever came, now that we now know. And then I would guess around noon or so, they finally started letting people actually evacuate over to New Jersey on those ferries.
Final question for you, Michael. 25 years later, obviously you have the amazing recollection of that morning, and that will stay with you forever. Is there one image that stands out in your mind that you will never be able to forget from that morning?
Oh yeah, Mark. There's a lot seared in my memory. It's like it was yesterday. But the one image that continues to stick in my mind was, standing there for a good 45 minutes or an hour, watching those jumpers, watching and hearing them land, which I'll never forget. And the worst for me that I'll never forget is a man and woman who jumped together and held hands the entire way down. I don't know if they were actually a couple or if they were just coworkers who decided to do it that way, but that's something I'll never forget.
Yeah, I can't imagine you ever will. Michael Wallace, Michael, thank you so much for your time this morning.
Sure, Mark. Take care.
First-hand account there from Ground Zero from Michael Wallace. Coming a little later on the show, I'm going to play some audio that folks heard on WSB Radio as those terrorist attacks were unfolding as we continue our coverage of the 9/11 remembrance 24 years ago today. When we come back, we're going to go back to Utah, update the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Again, it is a 5K day bonus blitz day. Your 10 a.m. keyword is ticket, TICKET. Enter the keyword ticket into the WSB Radio app or online at WSBradio.com/cash. All right, checking the Thursday morning trip around town. Let's say hello and good morning to Smile and Mark McKay.
Morning, Mark. Crash on the connector, still in the HOV Express lane on I-75-85 northbound, right at 166. This will impact you as you leave Cleveland Avenue, rolling north toward the connector. Work your way to the right, just above there. All lanes are slowing again on the connector north, leaving University Avenue, exit 244 into the busy I-20 interchange. Rolling south, 75 south of Marietta is crowded, especially in the right lanes below Delco down to Windy Hill, exit 260. And live jam cam in Midtown shows Spring Street still shut down at 17th Street due to water and gas main repair work. Use Peachtree instead. This report brought to you by True Natural Gas. True Natural Gas offers low rates, excellent service, and a loyalty program called True Rewards. See for yourself at TrueNaturalGas.com, where they appreciate their customers. Smile Mark McKay, 95.5 WSB.
I'm Chris Chandler. When you join us Friday starting at 5 for Atlanta's Morning News, of course, the latest on the Charlie Kirk investigation from Utah and live from the White House, and how much warmer in our weekend forecast on 95.5 WSB.
They say nothing is certain in life except death and taxes, but here in Georgia, I want you to go ahead and add roaches to that list. They're everywhere. Can't avoid them, but you can protect your home and family from those nasty bugs. Mark Aram here for Breda Pest Management, the only folks I trust to get rid of roaches in my home. Did you notice I said in my home? Of course, it's the roaches inside that you want gone. That's why it's so ridiculous to me that many companies have stopped going inside homes. That's just an industry trick to save them time and money while leaving your home at risk. And they raise their prices, doing less and charging more. You better call Breda, friends. Breda's got your back, protecting the outside and inside of your home. Breda Pest Management, they handle bugs and critters like those disgusting roaches. BREDA Pest.com.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
Having trouble getting in to see the doctor? Wait no longer. All Care is here. All Care is expert immediate care and primary care under a single roof, offering convenience and continuity for your healthcare needs at 15 Atlanta area locations. And best of all, we are fully staffed and ready for you when you need us. Same-day appointments are available and walk-ins are welcomed. Or schedule an appointment at allcare-ga.com. Say goodbye to waiting to see the doctor and say hello to All Care, a proud member of the Piedmont Integrated Network Clinic.
Better prices, better views. Window comfort, meant just for you. Window comfort.
Don't be fooled by the big box brands. Window Comfort's exclusive window line is custom built for Georgia weather, installed by in-house pros and guaranteed never to fog. With factory direct pricing, it's affordable for everyone. Go to windowcomfort.com for real quality that lasts.
Better prices, better views. Window comfort, meant just for you. Window comfort.
Castile Plumbing and Electrical knows the best way to handle that dripping pipe or flickering light isn't just wishing it'll go away on its own. Good news for you. You don't have to think too hard to take care of these issues, thanks to our free, no-obligation plumbing or electrical safety inspection with any paid service. The experts at Castile will fix any small problems before they become big, expensive ones, and even have 0% interest financing available on repairs and replacements. Enough with the wishful thinking. Book today at CastileAir.com.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, with all the things we're reading, seeing, and living through these days, from rate cuts, election season, and now a new administration, now seems like a great time to make sure we have that comprehensive plan in place. You know, the one that covers all our financial bases.
There are occasions throughout the year where I feel like it's critical for people to engage their financial lives and get the information that they deserve from a financial advisory team. And this is one of those times, to be quite frank. So we ask that you call us if you have a minimum of $500,000 in your full portfolio. But we're going to do away with that minimum so that those folks can have an equal opportunity to understand what's in their portfolio as well. Now, you have to have some money, right? I can't help you to build your wealth at work, right? But I sure can help, I believe, with your 401k, IRA management. There's probably 2 or 3 things that'll surprise you that you may want to take action on. So the next 10 people that call in, we'll work up either a portfolio x-ray, or if you feel like you need a full retirement plan, go to unleashyourmoney.com, click on portfolio x-ray, or click on full retirement plan. We think you'll be impressed enough, and we want you to become a client. There's no question about it. We believe that we are a very competent fiduciary advisory team, and we want to offer that to our listeners. Let Hoffman Financial Group actually show you how we perform, and I believe we perform at the pinnacle of this industry.
Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
So you're losing your hair and you need a simple solution that works, but you want the best. It's Mark Arum here. Modern technology, top-rated physicians. You want something that's guaranteed to work. Guys, you need Advanced Hair. Advanced Hair's completely redefined hair restoration, from the experience itself to the unmatched results they produce. Receding hairline, bald spot, thinning hair, address them all with a simple one-day treatment in a calm, relaxed environment with experienced pros. Advanced Hair has performed tens of thousands of breakthrough advanced FUE treatments, and get this, your own natural hair begins to regrow the very next day. No one else in Atlanta can offer the advanced FUE found at Advanced Hair. Fix your hair loss today, starting with your free consultation, and you'll also get $500 off if you move forward. Call 470-660-HAIR. Refine your hairline with the team that's redefined hair restoration, and don't forget to ask about that Advanced Hair Guarantee. 470-660-HAIR or advancedhair.com.
We are exhausting every lead. We have every officer, every investigator, every local agency, investing everything we have into this, and we will catch this individual.
That's Bo Mason, Utah Department of Public Safety, continue our coverage of the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Just grab this off of CNN. Nick Watt, reporter at the campus in Utah.
We have just heard from officials that they had what they describe as breakthroughs during the night. This is coming from the special agent in charge from the FBI Salt Lake field office and from local officials here in Utah. So here is what we know. They are calling the suspect him. They're saying that this is a male, college age, who blended in well on campus. They say that they do now have, which they didn't yesterday, they do now have a good image of that suspect. And they are right now using technology to try and identify the person from that or those images.
Nick Watt at the university, Utah Valley University. So confirmation, Deborah, it is a male that they're looking for, and they have confidence that whatever technology they have at their fingertips, they'll be able to identify the suspect. So an amazing development there. They've recovered the gun. Any new updates from the FBI or the folks in Utah about the Charlie Kirk assassination, we will bring them to you live here throughout the day on 95.5 WSB. When we come back, continue our 9/11 remembrance, travel expert Peter Greenberg, where was he 24 years ago today, and how the travel industry changed forever. Peter Greenberg live. You got a couple minutes. 5K day bonus splits. Keyword is ticket. TICKET. Pop that into the WSB Radio app or online at WSBradio.com/cash.
You're building a deck or adding a room, that's wonderful. But if you skip hiring an architect trying to save money, well, the builder's going to need drawings anyway. They're going to hire an architect regardless and mark up their fees to you. That's why it's smarter to start your project at Sketchhouse. Hi, I'm Richard Taylor, architect at Sketchhouse. At Sketchhouse, we'll make sure your plans are code and zoning compliant, they'll be creative, and they will look great. You're going to save thousands of dollars with Sketchhouse Architects. We're going to make this easy for you. Go to sketchhouse.com. That's sketch, H-A-U-S, sketchhouse.com.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix that's guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Enjoy first of the season Honeycrisp apples. They're in stores now and only $1.99 a pound with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
At Shane Company, we've been engagement ring experts for almost 100 years. We have the largest selection of diamonds and gemstones in stock. You don't have to wait to compare them side by side. Find the one that speaks to you at shaneco.com or in store. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Hey, if you're bringing some friends over to tailgate this fall or cook out or having the family for Thanksgiving later, do what I've just done and call Wise Guys Pro Wash. They've gotten my house and driveway, my patio, spotless, even the wooden gates out back. They even cleaned the roof, and I didn't even have to be there. The crew used the top equipment in the industry, and their soft washing kept my home safe and damage-free. You call them. Mention me, Chris Chandler, for $70 off your next service. WiseGuysProWash.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-2798. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-2798. That's 800-575-2798. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 10:30. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by Metro Atlanta Amco Dealers. There's new information this morning on the assassination of Charlie Kirk, a major break in the search for the shooter.
CBS
CBS News special report. The FBI has recovered the bolt-action rifle used to kill conservative influencer Charlie Kirk at Utah Valley University yesterday. Special agent in charge, Robert Bowles.
That rifle was recovered in a wooded area where the shooter had fled. So the FBI laboratory will be analyzing this weapon.
Utah Public Safety Commissioner Bo Mason says the gunman, who was of college age, fired from a campus rooftop, then fled into a nearby neighborhood.
Our investigators have worked through those neighborhoods, contacting anybody they can with doorbell cameras, witnesses, and have thoroughly worked through those communities, trying to identify any leads.
Mason says they have good surveillance video of the assassin. Charlie Kirk helped rally the youth vote for President Trump, who just made this announcement while addressing a 9/11 ceremony at the Pentagon.
I'm pleased to announce that I will soon be awarding Charlie Kirk posthumously the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
The highest possible honor for a civilian. CBS News special report. I'm Michael Wallace.
And as the manhunt continues for the person who killed Kirk, we get some context this morning from a Georgia expert on radicalization, extremism, and terrorism.
Georgia State University professor Dr. Tony Lemieux says though the motive in the assassination of Kirk is not confirmed, social media has to some extent been a factor in radicalizing younger people, at times putting people in totally different realities.
It does have the potential to foster and increase polarization, and that's something we really need to be mindful of, and especially at a moment like now.
But whatever the reason behind the attack,
this is a horrible act, and I think that's sort of that should be a universally agreed upon thing, and I think it largely has been.
Cheryl Castro, 95.5 WSB.
All right, a mix of sun and clouds today. Warmer, highs around 87 this afternoon, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Today marks 24 years since the 9/11 terror attacks. Memorial services are happening all across the nation. And there, you're hearing the bells being rung at 9:37 this morning when American Airlines Flight 77 hit the Pentagon. In New York, loved ones of the victims killed at the World Trade Center gathered at a memorial there. There are also events all across the metro area today. A Clayton County deputy is critically injured following a high-speed chase on I-75. His patrol car flipping over south of Forest Parkway after the suspect vehicle clipped an 18-wheeler, sending that big rig in the path of the deputy's car. The deputy rushed to Grady. He is in critical condition. A new report is out on poverty in America, and Jim Ryan says more people are rising above the poverty line, except for one age group.
The glaring exception in the Census Bureau's Income, Poverty, and Health Insurance Coverage Report is the fastest growing population, those over 65. Based on pre-tax cash income, the percentage of seniors in poverty rose to 9.9% last year from 9.7% in 2023.
He says every other age group either saw gains made against poverty or remained steady. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow's up 527 at 46,018. So the Dow's up more than a full percent. NASDAQ's up almost 0.5%, and the S&P's up more than 0.5%. It's 10:33. Time for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Here's Smile and Mark McKay.
Right lane construction slowing the ride into Kennesaw on I-75 southbound. As you work your way down from Wade Green Road, trying to get past Kennesaw State University, you'll pick up speed once you get to the 575 split. Only to slow again. Right lanes are really crowding in this morning, leaving the South Marietta Parkway, trying to get to Windy Hill Road and the busy I-285 interchange. Downtown Atlanta, slow on the connector. Crash is cleared out of the HOV lane, 7585 northbound. North of Cleveland Avenue on the 75 side, but connector's still heavy from University Avenue up to Midtown, and Spring Street in Midtown Atlanta shut down at 17th Street with water and gas main repair work. Use Peachtree instead. Smile and Mark McKay, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Partly cloudy and warming up to a high of 87 for this afternoon. Lows tonight in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, hotter still, high near 90. Saturday, mostly sunny skies, morning lows in the mid-60s, daytime highs in the upper 80s to low 90s.
73 degrees in Woodstock, at 75 in Tucker. Riverdale has 76 degrees. We'll have more news at 11 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
On air,
Online,
on the app,
where you get your news,
is where you'll win.
Download the WSB radio app now and maybe win $1,000.
All right, thank you. The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
5 words, 5 times a day, every weekday.
Oh my word!
Just enter the word at WSBradio.com or on the WSB radio app. The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
Your next chance to win is at 12 p.m.
That's Amazing Grace being sung at the Pentagon 9/11 ceremony. We continue our remembrance of September 11th. Peter Greenberg live next on The Mark Arum Show.
Dave Baker here for Ben Hill Renovations, my deck guys. You know it's always deck season. Host the party, watch the big game, cook out. It's all possible on your new deck from Ben Hill Renovations. Ben Hill offers a better contractor experience. Every project is built with future county and city code requirements in mind. Your project won't go over budget, and all jobs are backed by the Ben Hill Renovations Workmanship Warranty. See them on the web at bhrenovations.com. Ben Hill Renovations, creating raving fans since 1964.
Whether it's a slip that ends in a slip disc, a trick knee that's holding you back, or shoulder pain hurting your game, you can count on Northside Hospital Orthopedics. With leading care in Georgia at convenient locations all across the state, we're here to get you back on your feet, no matter what comes your way. Because Georgia moves us, and we keep Georgia moving. Find a provider near you at northside.com/ortho. That's northside.com/ORTHO.
You worked hard for your 401k, but if you've left your job, your money might be sitting in the wrong hands. I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and it's very possible that the 401k that you have had for years has hidden fees and limited investment choices. But if you're no longer with the company, that 401k may be at the mercy of your former employer. All of these things could be costing you thousands. Rolling over your 401k into an IRA can provide better investment options that align with your long-term goals. At Trajan Wealth, we're fiduciary advisors that are held to a higher standard with no hidden agenda and no hidden fees. Don't let your retirement dollars sit in an old plan, and don't roll it over to your new plan without consulting Trajan Wealth first. Call 404-390-4000. That's 404-390-4000.
Advisory services are offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
FBI agents have been working around the clock with our law enforcement partners. We are and will continue to work nonstop until we find the person that has committed this heinous crime and find out why they did it.
FBI in charge, Robert Bowles, FBI agent in charge of the Charlie Kirk assassination investigation. Welcome back to the Mark Arum Show. Complete coverage of the investigation and the manhunt ongoing right now throughout the day on 95.5 WSB. Continue our remembrance of 9/11. Joining us live, Peter Greenberg, travel expert and great friend of the show. Peter, good morning. How are you, sir?
And good morning to you, Mark. You know, and thinking back 24 years ago, I was actually on a flight this morning, very early this morning, from Chicago to LaGuardia. It left at 6 o'clock in the morning, and as we came into land on runway 31 at LaGuardia, it was haunting because I looked out my window, and there was Manhattan in all of its glory as we came up the Hudson River to make the turn to get to that runway, as we came over Queens. And it was exactly this weather 24 years ago today. A beautiful fall, crisp September morning. 20/20 visibility. And I looked at my watch, and the time was 8:47.
Oh, goodness.
And there was no better, more appropriate place to be for me, or more better location, or more better altitude than to look out that window this morning and remember all the people who lost their lives on that day of infamy 24 years ago today.
That's remarkable. So where were you 24 years ago today, Peter?
Oh, I remember it so well. I was then at NBC as the travel editor for the Today Show. I was in the green room about to go live on the air when that first plane hit the North Tower. And they cut away to a wide shot of the building and the smoke, and Matt Lauer said, "It appears that a small plane has hit the World Trade Center." And I ran downstairs into the control room and said, "Everybody listen to me. That was no small plane. It never would have done that. It would have bounced off the building. This is much bigger than that. And this is why this happened." And all of a sudden, as I was talking in the control room, that's when the second plane hit the South Tower, and our lives were changed forever. And I ended up on the air for the next 20 straight hours.
Wow. And I do remember that morning because we originally thought, because we saw the smoke coming out of the tower, and initial reports were, a small Cessna or whatever crashed into the plane, crashed into the tower. And that was the assumption until we saw live the second jet hit. And then we were like, oh, no, this is something completely different.
And my mom, who's then alive, remembered when a plane actually hit the Empire State Building back, I believe, in 1938, and in the fog, and a lot of people died. But on this particular day, 24 years ago today, it was 20/20 visibility. There was no fog. It was deliberate, intentional, and just terrible.
Yeah, absolutely remarkable. So you were there. You were living in Manhattan at the time, and you were at Rockefeller Center for at MEC.
Absolutely, and I'll tell you the crazy thing. As you know, I'm also a fireman here in New York, and my fire department did respond, but by the time they got there, it was no longer a rescue mission. It was a recovery mission. And by the time I left the studio that night at 2:00 the next morning, actually, and I walked out of the building for the first time, the wind direction had changed, and it was the unmistakable smell of burning electrical conduit, jet fuel, and I hate to say it, human remains that covered the air that I was breathing, and it was the most. I'll never forget that as long as I live.
Unbelievable. Peter Greenberg joining us live on the Mark Arum Show as we continue our 9/11 remembrance. Our good friend Colby Cannoli screening the calls today, Peter, and she is 23 years old, so she was not alive for the horrific 9/11 attacks 24 years ago today. So she has always traveled in the new post 9/11 world. Obviously, the travel game changed significantly after those terrorist attacks. What were the biggest changes, do you think, and do you think we'll ever go back to pre-9/11 travel?
Well, not in terms of the techniques and the methodology. Remember, there was no Department of Homeland Security before 9/11. It grew into one of the largest federal agencies, if not the largest federal agency that we have, and that changed things forever the way we travel. And, it's always trying to keep up with the technology that the terrorists have and try to beat them at their own game before they actually advance us. And that battle continues to this day. We don't see it a lot. We don't hear about it a lot, but that's what their job is.
And before 9/11, 2001, you could, I remember as a kid, and I'd fly down to Florida to visit my grandparents, and my parents would walk me to the gate. And when I landed in Florida, my grandparents were at the gate to greet me. That all ended after 9/11.
That ended immediately after 9/11. And yes, while parents can still get occasional gate passes to take their kids to the gate, they still have to go through security and everything else that we go through today.
So, it's been 24 plus years, right, since I've taken a flight before 9/11. Now I'm very familiar with the TSA security checkpoints. You can't do the liquids. Refresh my memory. What was security like at Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson before September 11th?
Well, there was security, but it was mostly rent-a-cops. They were subcontracted out to private agencies. They weren't well trained. They didn't have the technology to really detect a lot of stuff. It was basically the security theater, if you will. And that really was the first couple of days, weeks, and months of the TSA because they were learning while they were earning. They had to ramp up very quickly on the technology and the equipment. So what they're doing today versus what they were doing then, night and day.
And that's, before you get on the plane, post 9/11, things have changed on aircraft. Let's start up front at the cockpit where access, I'm assuming, pre 9/11 was pretty easy.
It was. I mean, if you had a problem, the pilot would often come out and talk to the passenger. That's what happened on 9/11. They had a different protocol for dealing with hijackings, which is what they thought this was. And it was, of course, but it went to a different level. And so if there was a problem, they were trained to talk to the hijacker, not to barricade themselves in the cockpit. Once the hijackers got access to the cockpits of all those planes on 9/11, we all know what happened next.
Yeah, and now we've got the locked cockpits, right? And when a pilot does have to use the facility, they'll put the beverage cart in front of there, and there'll be people standing up before in front of that to make sure that no one can get into the. I mean, it's truly a whole different flying experience now.
Well, access to the cockpit has changed for a number of reasons. One, because we've had instances of intentional crashes of planes by pilot suicide. Mm-hmm. So now the protocol is if any pilot has to get out of the cockpit to go to the lavatory, another member of the flight crew has to enter that cockpit. So there are always two people in the cockpit at any one time. And now they're putting in secondary boundary doors so that they don't have to put that beverage cart in anymore. There may be two separate doors barricading the cockpit to basically prohibit entry.
Interesting. And air marshals were a thing post 9/11.
Well, they still are a thing, although it's sort of minimal now. They were air marshals that were put on. They're called FAMs, Federal Air Marshals, on what they called high targeted visibility flights, like to Washington, D.C., or to New York City, or to Chicago, or to major international gateway cities. They're still around, not that many of them anymore. It became a little bit of a security theater because you always knew where they were set. They always sat in seat 3B, never a window seat, always an aisle seat. They always had their fanny pack on, reading their Tom Clancy novel and trying to blend, that, their role right now has been severely diminished, and it's highly questionable, although we'll never know, what they've been able to do to prevent any kind of incident.
Interesting. Travel expert Peter Greenberg joining us live on the Mark Arum Show as we remember 9/11. Finally, post 9/11, we had a complete ground stop nationwide. That morning was horrific when we realized it was a terrorist attack. Remind me, how long was that ground stop, and what was the long-term impact on the airline industry here in the United States?
Well, it wasn't just the airline industry; it was the economy of the United States, because we forgot how much of our economy depended on air travel, not just for getting you and me someplace, but for cargo, medicine, supplies, human body parts for organ transplants, you name it. Even in the old days of cashing a check, back 24 years ago, if I wrote you a check at a Los Angeles bank and you deposited it in an Atlanta bank, it took 4 or 5 days to physically clear. How did it clear? They put it on a plane and flew it back to my bank in California so it would then clear. When you had a 5-day ground stop where nothing flew in this country, banks are on the precipice because nothing was clearing. Obviously, we now have electronic clearance for checks. None of that ever happens anymore. The other thing that happened, of course, 24 years ago today was the small town of Gander in Newfoundland, because when they did that ground stop, Mark, there were approximately 55 planes that were already headed to the United States over the North Atlantic on their regular Europe to U.S. run. And the word came out, all planes on the ground immediately. A lot of them, we're talking a few dozen, ended up in the small town of Gander in Newfoundland, where the actual population of the planes tripled the population of the ground. And they were there for a week. And for those people who were lucky enough to see that Broadway musical Come From Away, what a heartwarming story that happened there that nobody ever could have ever anticipated.
I don't remember if I ever knew that or had forgotten about that, but that is remarkable that those flights over the North Atlantic were diverted away from the United States and had to land there. I don't know if I ever knew that, Peter. That might be new information to me.
Imagine this. The town of Gander, which might have had 3 to 4, maybe 4 scheduled flights a day, but had a very long runway because it was used if planes had to divert for an emergency going over the North Atlantic. Within a period of an hour and a half, imagine 34 wide-body planes landing and then taxiing nose to nose with all those people on board that did not move for 5 days. And what the people of that town did to open up their homes, their schools, their hospital, everything, even their ice skating rink, to be able to bring in food. And the relationships that were formed over those 5 days, we're talking marriages, we're talking kids, we're talking scholarship funds where all the passengers chipped in for the community of Gander. If you ever get a chance to see that musical, I think there may be a road show or two out there. Go see it.
Unbelievable. Great stuff as always, Peter. Enjoy your time in New York. Please give everyone our best up there.
Will do, Mark.
There you go. Peter Greenberg, travel expert. Post 9/11, things have definitely changed. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we've got some space news, ironically. We'll check in with Bloomberg News. Right now, though, let's check in ground level. Checking the ride around town. Smile, Mark McKay.
And that slow ride of the west side perimeter. Mark leaving Smyrna Vinings, trying to get down to I-20 on and off traffic pacing, slowing that roll 285 southbound as you approach Hollowell Parkway exit 12. Interloop delays as well, trying to get into that I-20 interchange. Road work leaving Kennesaw, heading toward Ackworth. Right lane taken out 75 northbound as you approach Wade Green Road. Southbound delays improving through Cobb County, approaching 285 on the 75 southbound side, but are picking up delays in the work zone into Cobb County. Looks like we're going to have a crash, seemingly a daily crash, at I-20 westbound past exit 71 Panola Road. This report sponsored by Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield. Learn more about their support of common threads and nutrition education at anthem.com/dream. Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield, the trade name of Blue Cross Blue Shield Healthcare Plan of Georgia, Inc. Smile, Mark McKay, 95.5 WSB.
If it's happening on the streets of Atlanta,
the Cobb County Medical Examiner's Office identifies 57 sets of of cremains.
If it's happening on the roads leading to Atlanta.
Massive project at 285 and Georgia 400 has been a big improvement.
We've got it covered.
Atlanta jurors convict a former Customs and Border Protection officer.
Your 24/7 news source.
Covering the stories that impact you.
Tune in throughout the day to stay up to date.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's breaking news station.
Hurricane season is here, friends, and now's the time to make sure your roof is ready for whatever comes next. Hey, it's Mark Aaron back with you. At Dr. Roof, they're experts at hurricane proofing your home. From inspecting shingles to reinforcing your roof structure, they make sure your home is secure before the storm hits. Don't wait until it's too late. Get a free, no-obligation roof inspection from Dr. Roof today. Get ready before the hurricane season goes into overdrive. Call Dr. Roof today.
Y'all, it's Eric, and summer is winding down, which means you got a great deal coming from Omaha Steaks. It's their Red Hot Sale event. You get 50% off site-wide at omahasteaks.com. Plus, because you listen to your host, Eric Erickson, you get an extra $35 off with promo code ERIC at checkout. Look, with so much happening, school is back in session, you got family in and out, you got fall weather coming, the leaves are starting to change colors. It's time to get out back, enjoy your grill without the summer heat. Go to omahasteaks.com today. You're going to get 50% off site-wide at checkout. Use promo code ERIC, E-R-I-C-K. Get the New York strips, by the way. Omaha Steaks, they're butcher cut, so they're hand cut. It's not machined. It's hand cut New York strips. They're fantastic. So are the fillets. Everything's great. omahasteaks.com is where you want to go. At checkout, use promo code ERIC, E-R-I-C-K. Get an extra $35 off. Minimum order required.
Hi, I'm Deborah Morton, host of Inside Georgia Real Estate, right here on 95.5 WSB. If you listen to my show each Saturday, we cover Atlanta's housing market and all things real estate related. So, whether you're buying your dream home or selling your current one, hiring the right agent is essential. The Agency Atlanta is the iconic brokerage that is revolutionizing real estate worldwide. We pair global resources with decades of hyper-local Atlanta market expertise to deliver results. If you're selling your home, we'll help you showcase your property and maximize your return. If you're buying, we'll guide you through every step to secure the perfect home for your lifestyle. Either way, we would love to earn the privilege of being your agent. So, if you're looking for that perfect Buckhead bungalow, that Alpharetta estate, an in-town condo, or suburban bliss, visit InsideGeorgiaRealEstate.com today to connect with us at the Agency Atlanta. That's InsideGeorgiaRealEstate.com.
You've thought about assisted living for your parents, but maybe the right answer is renovating your home and having mom or dad move in. I'm Richard, Chief Architect at Sketch House, where we create custom architectural drawings for homeowners looking to remodel. Why get drawings first? You'll know what's possible. You'll be able to get pricing and compare builders apples to apples, and builders love drawings. You'll get bumped to the top of their list with drawings in hand. Let Sketch House help you make a decision about your aging parents at a fixed price. Visit sketchhouse.com. That's sketch, Haus.com.
Hey, if you're bringing some friends over to tailgate this fall or cook out or having the family for Thanksgiving later, do what I've just done and call Wise Guys Pro Wash. They've gotten my house and driveway, my patio, spotless, even the wooden gates out back. They even cleaned the roof, and I didn't even have to be there. The crew used the top equipment in the industry, and their soft washing kept my home safe and damage-free. You call them. Mention me, Chris Chandler, for $70 off your next service. WiseGuysProWash.com.
That nagging joint pain, you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes it's from years of hard work. Sometimes it's an old injury that just never healed right. Either way, it's been calling the shots in your life for too long. But that stops right now. I'm Mark Ehrman. QC Kinetics is here to flip that script. They use regenerative medicine, advanced cellular treatments that help your body heal and restore the damage in your joints, not cover it up, not cut it out, actually helping heal and restore. And the results, long-term, lasting relief. QC Kinetics, no surgery, no drugs, no long recovery, just a smarter, natural way to get your freedom back. Bring your MRIs, your X-rays, and they'll make sure you're a good candidate. Your first consultation, it's free, friends, so there's no reason to wait. Call QC Kinetics, 770-285-8026. That's 770-285-8026. Decatur, Lawrenceville, Sandy Springs, Marietta, Stockbridge, and Douglasville. Appointments available on Saturday. 770-285-8026. 10:55 on the Mark Arum Show. Joining us live from Bloomberg News, Bruce Einhorn. Bruce, some breaking news in space exploration coming from SpaceX. What can you tell us?
Elon Musk the other day was on the All In podcast. They had a summit conference, and so he spoke with them, and during that he talked about the latest iteration of the Starship, the giant rocket that SpaceX has been working on for a while. They have had 10 test flights. He announced that they only have one left of the version 2 of the rocket, the one that they've been testing to date, and that after that one tests, then they're going to move to version 3, which is much bigger. The current one has about 35 tons capacity to orbit, and the newer one will have over 100 tons.
Got about 30 seconds, Bruce. What does a bigger rocket mean for space exploration?
Well, eventually, Elon Musk, of course, wants to get to Mars. It's a long trip to Mars. A bigger rocket with more capacity makes that dream potentially more achievable.
Excellent. Bruce Einhorn, Bloomberg News, updating space. Thank you, Bruce. When we come back after news, weather, and traffic, the very latest on the manhunt for the assassin of Charlie Kirk, and we'll continue to remember 9/11, what it sounded like 24 years ago today on WSB Radio. Got some archived audio I want to play for you. And we'll update our top local stories as well. Social media is active throughout the broadcast at Mark Arum and at WSB Radio.
WSB Atlanta, WSB BFM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're a different kind of wireless company dedicated to serving people 50 and up, like me. Because let's face it, our needs are different. Big wireless unlimited plans are designed for 20-somethings, not us. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on one thing, bringing you affordable, reliable rate plans that suit your needs, not ours. How do we do that? We start by using the same towers as the big guys, the exact same towers. We then create rate plans designed for your usage. The fact is, we can offer you an unlimited plan with the same network quality for less because we understand how you use wireless services. Our plans start at just $20 a month. And forget trying to chat with robots. You'll get 100% US-based award-winning customer service when you need help. Come find out how wireless should be and join the millions who've made the switch.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Are you worried that when the temperatures drop this winter in Atlanta, your old furnace is not going to keep you warm and toasty? Fear not. My friends at Reliable have an amazing preseason special right now on a new furnace. Hey, it's Mark Arum here. Any size furnace, just $59.99 a month. Unbelievable. Plus 0 down, low monthly payments, and all future repairs, maintenance, even filters, no additional charge for life, plus an unbeatable lifetime warranty. Incredible. Reliable offers fast furnace repairs with a 100% satisfaction guarantee, 24/7 service, and next day installation guaranteed, or they pay you $500. Preseason furnace special going on right now for my pals at Reliable. I want you to book an appointment right now. Go to reliableair.com and click on the Book Now button. That's reliableair.com. Or call or text 770-594-9969.
Looking for your next great adventure? At Capital Investment Advisors, we know travel isn't just a vacation. It's a core pursuit that fuels happiness. In fact, research shows happy retirees pursue nearly twice as many adventure-related core pursuits as unhappy retirees. That's why we created 101 trips to take in retirement. A free guide with luxury escapes, wellness retreats, cultural immersions, and trips for the grandkids. Download your copy today at yourwealth.com/101 trips.
Better prices, better views, window comfort, meant just for you. Window comfort.
Window Comfort's exclusive window line is built for Georgia's extreme heat and guaranteed to lower your energy bills. Right now, get buy two, get two free with no payments till 2026. Schedule your no-pressure estimate today at windowcomfort.com.
Better prices, better views. Window Comfort, meant just for you. Window Comfort.
News, weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 11 o'clock. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by the Next Generation Xfinity 10G network. Investigators are making progress as they search for the shooter who murdered Charlie Kirk during a talk yesterday at Utah Valley University. At a news conference this morning, Utah Public Safety Commissioner Bo Mason said investigators have been able to track the shooter's movements as he came on campus and left.
We do have good video footage of this individual. We are not going to release that at this time.
And Robert Bowles, the FBI special agent in charge of the investigation into the Kirk shooting, said the weapon used has also been recovered.
This morning I can tell you that we have recovered what we believe is the weapon that was used in yesterday's shooting. It is a high-powered bolt-action rifle. That rifle was recovered in a wooded area where the shooter had fled. The FBI laboratory will be analyzing this weapon.
And President Trump saying he remains shocked by the horror of Kirk's assassination and praises his impact on conservative politics, calling him, quote, a giant of his generation, a champion of liberty, and an inspiration to millions of people. The president was speaking today on 24 years ago. Americans showed the world that they will never give up. That's what the president says. He spoke at the Pentagon to mark the anniversary of the 9/11 terrorist attacks today.
As one nation, we renew our sacred vow that we will never forget September 11th, 2001.
And the president read messages sent to loved ones from some of those killed in the attacks. A ceremony was also held in New York City at the site of the World Trade Center. There are also numerous events being held here in Metro Atlanta. Your weather for today, a mix of clouds and sun, warmer, highs around 87, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. She'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up in just a matter of minutes. A high-speed chase on I-75 ends with a crash that critically injures a Clayton County deputy.
State Patrol investigators say the pursuit involved a white Infiniti eluding deputies and traveling at high speeds as it made its way south on the interstate. It ended when the driver struck the cab of a tractor-trailer, sending the big rig into the path of the pursuing deputy's car. That collision flipped the deputy's car and sent it into the guardrail. EMS crews rushed the injured deputy to Grady Hospital, where colleagues gathered, including Clayton County Sheriff Levon Allen. The truck driver and driver of a bystander vehicle were treated for minor injuries. The Infiniti driver was uninjured in the incident. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
Well, there's more evidence today that lack of sleep can be very bad for our health.
People with chronic insomnia are 40% more likely to develop dementia or cognitive issues. A study published in the journal Neurology showed that people who have trouble sleeping for at least 3 days a week experience brain aging as much as 4 years faster than normal.
And Michael George reports the research adds to growing evidence that a lack of sleep can be bad for our physical and brain health. We are seeing the highest inflation since January. Jim Ryan has a look at the latest consumer price index.
The CPI for August shows inflation rising 0.4% from July and 2.9% from August of last year. The biggest driver of the increase, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, was the cost of shelter. But prices rose last month for new and used vehicles, clothing, and airfares as well.
All right, let's check your money. The Dow right now is up 566 at 46,057. So the Dow's up more than a full percent. NASDAQ's up more than 0.5%. So is the S&P. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams in the WSB 24-hour traffic center. Good Thursday morning.
Hey, good Thursday morning to you, Sabrina. Right now, we're watching a big jam leaving the mall. It's Stonecrest on I-20 westbound into DeKalb County, all due to a crash in two left lanes just past Panola Road exit 71. That means going up north of I-20 and using Covington Highway as your alternate. Eastbound also a little slow through the work zone, trying to make your way but from Wesley Chapel to Panola Road. On I-985 southbound, you're seeing some brake lights through Buford into Swanee. Crash moved all to the right where you merge into 85 south. And right lane construction, 75 north between Kennesaw and Ackworth. This is on I-75 northbound north of Wade Green Road, exit 273. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly cloudy, hotter today with a high of 87, lows tonight in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, high near 90. Saturday, sunny skies, morning lows in the mid-60s, daytime highs in the upper 80s to low 90s.
It is 76 degrees in Sugar Hill. Brookhaven has 78, 77 right now in Loganville. We'll have more news at 11:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
No, all want this town to be near you.
Welcome back to an extremely somber Thursday edition of the Mark Arum Show with you till noon. In just a little bit, Deborah's got one of two prize packs to give away. In an hour from now, I'm going to give you a keyword in the 5K day bonus splits. But it's a heavy show today. It always is when we remember 9/11. And obviously, it's more somber today after yesterday's assassination of Charlie Kirk. I'm going to get more into the 9/11 remembrance in just a minute. But in case you're just joining us, manhunt underway for the assassin of Charlie Kirk, gunned down yesterday, assassinated at Utah Valley University. Andres Gutierrez, CBS reporter in Orem, Utah.
We now understand that the gunman showed up 8 minutes before the noon event yesterday and then moved through the staircase wells of a building nearby, about 200 yards away from where Charlie Kirk was speaking, went to that rooftop and ended up taking that sniper's position. They then captured him on surveillance camera, leaving the building from the opposite side of where he fired that single shot and moving down through the staircases and off the campus.
Earlier in the show, we took a live press conference. We heard from the FBI agent in charge of the investigation and from Bo Mason, the commissioner of the Utah Department of Public Safety.
We were able to track the movements of the shooter. Starting at 11:52 a.m., the subject arrived on campus, shortly away from campus. We have tracked his movements onto the campus, through the stairwells, up to the roof, across the roof to a shooting location. After the shooting, we were able to track his movements as he moved to the other side of the building, jumped off of the building, and fled off of the campus and into a neighborhood.
The big headlines of the press conference were they do have multiple videos of the suspect, which is phenomenal in helping this investigation. So confident are the law enforcement authorities, they are not yet releasing images of the suspect, who they say is male and of college age, because they believe the facial recognition technology they have should help them identify them. Normally, in a case this big, with a manhunt this large, they would immediately release any images they have of the suspect to get the public's assistance. But they're so confident that they will be able to identify the suspect. They haven't done that yet. They haven't ruled out doing that in the future if they haven't been able to make any traction on getting the identity. Obviously, we do not yet know a motive, but this is vastly different. This situation vastly different than what we saw at the Catholic school shooting, right? Which it was a non-professional type of shooting. What we saw yesterday, what we heard yesterday in Utah, I mean, that was a flat-out sniper shot from 200 yards away with a single-bolt rifle, single fatal shot there of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. One other headline, they did recover the rifle, so obviously they're going to do forensics on that, maybe track down the suspect through the rifle or the ammunition, but definitely positive steps this morning in the investigation and the manhunt of the assassin of Charlie Kirk. We will provide continuous updates throughout the day on 95.5 WSB. Make sure you have the downloaded the WSB radio app. You'll get the news push alerts on that if anything big pops, or just keep checking in on WSBradio.com. Again, this is always a tough show for me to do, Deborah, every year. This is 24 years after 9/11. Colby was not even born, which is insane. That she has only lived in a post-9/11 world. A majority of the listeners out there remember what life was like before 9/11. I'm just going to quickly take you through what was going on here at WSB Radio 24 years ago this morning. I was working in the traffic center, not the current traffic center, but the smaller version where Jesse Brooks's office is now. I was not yet on TV. I was just, traffic producer, traffic reporter with Captain Herb, Triple Team Traffic, and I remember coming in that morning, and the newsroom was, there was a lack of news that morning, ironically. I believe our top local story in Atlanta's Morning News was Michael Jordan's comeback to the NBA, which is not a big news story, but that was all what we had. It was kind of one of those mornings, and Scott Slade's hosting Atlanta's Morning News, and one of the TVs in the traffic center was tuned to Good Morning America, Channel 2. And they broke in, and you saw this smoke coming from one of the World Trade Centers. And as Peter Greenberg said, the initial reports from all the authorities were, a small personal plane flew into one of the World Trade Centers. What a horrible situation. And it was crystal clear skies, as Peter mentioned. And it was like, oh, did the pilot have a heart attack? Like, how can you miss that? Pilot error. And that was the assumption. And we were, Scott was talking about it. We're monitoring this, and we didn't know the severity of it all. And then the second plane hit, and that was it. That's when we knew. This wasn't the second plane, by the way, not a small two-person Cessna. This was a jumbo jet that we saw live crash into the second World Trade Center tower. And that's when collectively all of the United States and here in the WSB radio newsroom, we knew, oh, this is terrorism. And for the first time in my career at WSB radio, I fled the traffic center. And because I recognized the severity and the importance of this. And I dropped my traffic duties and I was like, this is breaking news. What do you need? What can I do? I went to then news director Chris Camp. What do you want me to do? What can I, and he started doing the assignments. Scott Slade then, at that time, Neil Bortz was on the air, I believe. Slade came in and started covering it. And then we had just wall-to-wall coverage until the first tower collapsed. And that added to our anxiety, our angst, our just what in the heck is going on. And then we got word that it wasn't just New York. Plane went down at the Pentagon. Plane went down in Pennsylvania. This is Jamie Dupree reporting on the plane down at the Pentagon, talking with Scott Slade the morning of September 11, 2001.
Scott, I'm in the Capitol building here, and in my broadcast position here in the House of Representatives, I have a window that looks right out on the city, and there is clearly large black clouds of smoke coming right over from the Pentagon. Now, I know I just heard somebody say on the air from CNN that there was a fire on the mall, but I am looking down here. I have a view of the White House, and I do not see anything toward there. The reports on the wire are that a plane crashed into the Pentagon. I cannot confirm that. I am seeing from the local TV stations here in Washington large plumes of smoke from just across the Potomac River. Some have indicated maybe the crash was not into the building. I just don't know at this point in time what exactly happened there. Looking over the city, though, there is nothing else. I have not seen many planes flying into National Airport in the last 20 minutes or so. I don't know if this was related to anything else that's been going on with the attacks in New York. But clearly, I just heard a bulletin over the police radio here in the Capitol that they are raising, obviously, security measures here. It's a rather shocking scene, Scott.
Yeah, it certainly is, Jamie. And in fact, I have a follow-up on the AP report. An Associated Press reporter says he saw the tail end of a large airliner plunge into the building.
Well, I can't confirm that. Like I said, I can see from my position here. I can't see the building, the Pentagon itself from the Capitol here because of other buildings in my line of sight. But it's clear that there has been some kind of major explosion over there and fire, though the smoke is a lot less than it was just a few minutes ago. Looking over toward the White House, I know that there was talk a few minutes ago that the White House was being evacuated. It could be that we're seeing a major terrorist attack here on all kinds of different places. We are being told right now that the Capitol is being evacuated, Scott. So it's probably, I see police running all over the lawn here outside the Capitol. So I'll probably head back over a couple blocks away from here to get out of here just in case something bad happens here.
Okay, Jamie, take the cell with you and check back in with us when you have an opportunity.
Okay.
Jamie Dupree, live in Washington 24 years ago today on September 11, 2001. They're conversing with Scott Slade during an extended breaking Atlanta's Morning News edition. I remember every single movement I made that day, that morning. And I don't think I left the station till, I don't think I left the station at all that day, in fact, because I remember I was anchoring coverage and doing talk from like 2 a.m. till 5 a.m. leading up to Atlanta's Morning News with Scott Slade. But when this happened, I remember begging Chris Camp, then news director, I was like, send me to New York to cover this, because I was, I'd only been down in Atlanta 4 years. I had friends and family I could stay with in New York. I knew the area. I was very familiar with the area down in Lower Manhattan near the World Trade Center. And I was like, send me and who am I? I was just a traffic reporter, young buck, 20-something years old, never covered breaking, but I felt so passionate about it. I felt so just drained emotionally. I'm like, I will let me go. And then we get a full ground stop. And all the planes in the United States, as Peter Greenberg mentioned earlier, were grounded. And Chris Camp used that as an excuse, like, all the planes are grounded. I'm not sending you to New York. I was like, I'll drive. Like, let me go right now. And he's like, let's see what happens. I mean, the chutzpah on my, like, you know, I was just the traffic reporter. And I want to go cover the biggest story of our lives, this terrorist attack, not knowing what's going to happen next. And Chris Camp's like, well, thank you for offering, kid. We'll let you know if we need you. But I just felt this drive to, like, I need to be there. My friends and my family were there. And through some sort of miracle, the ground stop for flights was lifted for Red Cross flights. And WSB radio reporter Richard Sangster, old school, hard-nosed. I don't know if you ever worked with Richard, Deborah, or Longoria. Just picture old, hardened radio reporter Richard Sangster. Covered it all, seen it all. Somehow he got a seat on one of those Red Cross flights and was able to fly up to New York City and cover. And he had family there too. And he was, because where were you going to stay? You know, the phones were down, electricity was down in Lower Manhattan. It was utter chaos. The subway system was broken. You might remember if seen videos on YouTube of folks walking over the Brooklyn Bridge out of Manhattan to get home because there was no mass transit. It was a nightmare situation. And I remember I don't think I had a cell phone then. You heard Scott Slade said, keep your cell ready. I think that was, Jamie Dupree had a cell phone. I did not have a cell phone. And I remember calling my friends and family members in New York City to see if they're okay. And you'd get their thing, like, there's no phone lines there. Like, the phones were overwhelmed or out or whatever. And I just started emailing friends. And I had a couple of friends in the New York Police Department. Hey, monitoring this as the building comes down and we see the horrific images. And I just want to make sure they're okay. And I had like 4 or 5 friends that were New York City police officer at that time, or in law enforcement, not necessarily NYPD, but might have been called to respond there. So I emailed them all, and I heard back from 4 of them within a couple of hours. Hey, I'm great. I was off today. Oh yeah, I'm doing this, and this. But there was one guy I didn't hear back from, John Hines, and didn't hear from him on the 12th, the 13th, the 14th, and this is pre-Facebook, pre-cell phones, can't text him or anything. And then like a week later, I get an email from him, and he's like, I've been down at Ground Zero the whole time. And I'm just now got back to my apartment and answering emails. I'm okay. He was okay. He was one of the lucky ones, the firefighters, the police officers, the EMS folks that lost their lives, the heroism of running into these burning buildings to try to save people. And I'm taken back by, I just saw this on television, but Michael Wallace from CBS joined us earlier in the show. He was there. And I asked him what image is going to stand out the most to him that happened that morning. And he recalled seeing a couple holding hands, jumping off like the 70th story of the building to their death. Yeah, I don't think you'll soon forget that. We saw some of that stuff on the TV coverage, but to be there and see it. The scariest part, though, obviously, was the uncertainty. What happens next? We didn't know what was going to happen next. I'll talk about that side of the 9/11 story after We check the morning drive here in Atlanta on what is a gorgeous Thursday morning. Let's say hello and good morning to Alex Williams.
Hey, good morning, Mark. Not good over on the East Freeway heading inbound out of Lithonia. Crash 20 westbound, 2 left lanes past Panola Road, exit 71. Delays stretch back into Lithonia before the mall. It's Stonecrest, Covington Highway will get you around that. Traveling northwest of town, you're on and off the brakes, 75 north through Marietta and Kennesaw into Ackworth due to right lane construction before Highway 92. Then you're not going to be free once you get past that because you jam up again just past the Lake Allatoona Bridge due to a crash on the right lane in Emerson at Old Allatoona Road, exit 283. Traffic brought to you by Whole Foods Market. Now at Whole Foods Market, get 20% off air-chilled, boneless, skinless chicken breast with Prime through September 16th. As always, there are no antibiotics ever while supplies last. Shop in-store or online. Terms apply. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
It pays to have the WSB Radio app. Download it today and get ready for the Blitz.
That's awesome. The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz. 5 chances every weekday to win $1,000. The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
Your next chance to win is at 12 p.m.
That's amazing.
From 95.5 WSB.
Download the WSB Radio app now.
Home improvement projects can be a stressful guessing game. Trust the Plus. Painting Plus, the highest level of communication. The Plus means siding, gutters, windows, decks, porches, roofing, and of course, painting.
Hi, I'm Charlie, owner of Painting Plus and the Plus family of businesses. We'll make you comfortable and keep you informed with every step of your project.
If your home's exterior has it, the Plus can improve it. Painting Plus, siding, gutters, windows, decks, porches, roofing, and more. Trust the Plus. PaintingPlus.com.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, every week on the show, we offer folks something we call the Portfolio X-Ray. I was hoping you could walk us through that process and tell us why the information it uncovers is so powerful.
Yeah, so the reason we love doing the Portfolio X-Ray for you is we do that behind the scenes. Everybody's extremely busy. Nobody wants to waste time in traffic. If you call in, we will ask you for some information via the phone. Once you've given us that information, we go to work and we put all the hours in developing the report. And I commit this to you. The Portfolio X-Ray is eye-opening. At least 90+% of the time, we can find 2 or 3 golden nuggets in there that you were not aware of that we can either change in your current portfolio mix for you. It's called a 401k optimizer. Or if we manage the assets for you, we certainly can recommend how to diversify away from some of the troubling points that are exposed during the Portfolio X-Ray. Once we've got that, then we'll have you in for your initial consultation. We will present the Portfolio X-Ray to you and walk you through the high points of it. And that's a document that you get to take with you. It's like getting a financial physical. Mm-hmm. So how many of you avoided going to the doctor for the annual physical last year? You do the same thing with your financial life. You ignore it. You keep pumping money into your 401k. You hope that it's going well, and I can tell you that hope is not a good investment or financial planning strategy. You need to know. So if you want to know, call us.
The Portfolio X-Ray is complimentary. Give Hoffman Financial Group a call to schedule yours today. 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
Fellas, take a look in the rearview mirror as you're driving to work or running your errands around town. Are you happy with what's going on the top of your head? Well, if you want to get your hair back, now's the time, and Advanced Hair is the place. Hey, it's Mark Arum back with you. Whether it's a receding hairline, bald spot, or thinning hair, Advanced Hair has you covered. They combine science and technology to give you back your own natural growing hair. Not a pill or a lotion that helps you retain what you have. Instead, Advanced Hair offers the proven, guaranteed solution that regrows your hair where it's currently gone. Best yet, it's a quick, simple one-day treatment, and your real hair begins to regrow the very next day, and it's guaranteed to grow for life. Takes just one visit, but first you need a free consultation. Schedule now, 470-660-HAIR or advancedhair.com, and if you move forward, you get $250 off plus 250 free grafts. One-day treatment, life-changing results, your own natural hair guaranteed to grow. advancedhair.com.
Whether it's a slip that ends in a slip disc, a trick knee that's holding you back, or shoulder pain hurting your game, you can count on Northside Hospital Orthopedics. With leading care in Georgia at convenient locations all across the state, we're here to get you back on your feet, no matter what comes your way. Because Georgia moves us, and we keep Georgia moving. Find a provider near you at northside.com/ortho. That's northside.com/ORTHO.
I'm consumer investigator Dale Cardwell, and for over a decade, I've trusted America's best choice for windows, doors, siding, and decks.
That's right, Dale. When the summer is hot, America's best choice will keep your home cool with premium energy-efficient windows starting at just $299. No pressure, no gimmicks. Go to abcwind.com to schedule a free in-home estimate today. America's best choice. Quality you can trust, prices you can afford.
Nobody likes a dingy smell. I mean, have you ever seen a candle with the scent dingy? I didn't think so. So avoid that dingy smell with help from the air duct cleaning experts at Zerorez. When dirt, dust, and allergens collect in your ducts, your air starts to stink. But Zerorez is a breath of fresh air. Plus, right now, if you mention WSB, you get up to $75 off your next duct cleaning. Schedule online at ZerorezAtlanta.com and ask about our commercial cleaning too. Zerorez, spell it backwards or forwards, it's the right way to clean.
Make no mistake, the United States will hunt down and punish those responsible for these cowardly acts.
President George Bush on September 11, 2001, 24 years ago today. Probably not the most famous Bush cut from that period. It would have to be, and I get goosebumps every time I watch it, when the president went down to Ground Zero. And remember, he got on the bullhorn and said, I'm going to try to find that. I want to hear it again. I should play that every year. I mean, the whole world's going to hear it. That was like, holy cow, what a crazy moment. Real quick, because we got a break for news, weather, and traffic, the very latest on the manhunt and the Kirk assassination, the Charlie Kirk assassination. The biggest thing that I remember is covering 9/11 that morning for WSB Radio was the uncertainty, because we literally didn't know what was going to happen next. We had the plane in the Pentagon, the plane that went down in Pennsylvania that was apparently going to head to the U.S. Capitol, obviously the planes at the Twin Towers. We didn't know. Is this phase one? Is this the first wave of terrorist attacks? Are they going to put anthrax in the Atlanta water supply? Are they going to hit Coca-Cola? The uncertainty was shocking. We didn't know what the next shoe to drop would be. Our lives changed on September 11, 2001, 24 years ago today. News, weather, and traffic in 3. When we come back, more 9/11 remembrances, the latest on the investigation of the assassination of Charlie Kirk, and we've got a special guest live in studio. That's all I'm going to say. It's the Mark Arum Show, WSB.
This is Scott Slade, and nothing takes the place of time when it comes to spotting problems with your health, especially cancer. The earlier the better. That's where virtual imaging comes in. Virtual imaging's LDCT body scan can be invaluable, giving you more time for you and your loved ones to take charge of your health. They can detect tumors as early as precancerous virtually anywhere in your body, and aneurysms you may not even know are there. Due to overwhelming demand for a limited time, their $995 core body scan offer has been extended. It's a $2,495 value. Early detection saves lives, and now it's more affordable than ever. Virtual Imaging has gotten such great response to this offer that they've opened up more times in both offices, but appointments will fill up fast, so don't wait. Some minimum requirements may apply. Early detection is your best protection. To schedule your virtual imaging $995 core body scan, call 770-678-SCAN. That's 770-678-SCAN. Or make an appointment by visiting their website at virtualimagingatl.com.
At Kroger Pharmacy, we make it easy to get flu, COVID, and RSV vaccines. They're available at no cost to you with most insurance plans. No appointment needed. And we're open weekdays, weeknights, and weekends. So come and visit us when it's most convenient for you. Kroger Health, a world of care is in store. Vaccines subject to availability. No cost to you with most insurance plans. Check with your plan for eligibility. Restrictions and exclusions may apply. See site for details.
Skip the hassles of a traditional home sale and sell your home quickly with a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. There's no showings, no open houses, and no stress. Hi, this is Mark Spain, and our guaranteed offer is the easiest way to sell your home. With the guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate, you can bypass the market, receive the strongest all-cash offer in the industry, and close in as little as 21 days. Our guaranteed offer keeps you in control. One of our clients, Jerry, said, "We needed to move quickly, and we were worried that the process would be lengthy and that we would spend a lot of money on repairs. Mark Spain Real Estate got us an offer in just 3 days and over asking price. It was amazing. I can't thank Mark Spain Real Estate enough. Don't worry about the inconveniences of selling your home. Mark Spain Real Estate's guaranteed offer makes selling stress-free. We've served over 72,000 satisfied clients, and we know what matters most: a quick sale and maximum profit. Find out what your guaranteed offer would be. There's no obligation. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today. That's markspain.com and start packing.
Plan today so you can potentially do the things you've always wanted in retirement. Listen Saturdays at 6 to Retire Ready with David Nicholas of Nicholas Wealth Management. Nicholas Wealth is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
Good morning, it's 11:30. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by Rocco's European Garage. A manhunt underway as we speak in Utah for the person who shot and killed conservative activist and influencer Charlie Kirk. We have learned more about the suspect today.
The suspect blended in well with a college institution. We're not releasing many details right now, and we will soon. But that individual appears to be of college age.
And investigators say they have also found the weapon used in the assassination. President Trump remembering Kirk as, quote, a giant of his generation and a champion of liberty.
I will soon be awarding Charlie Kirk posthumously the Presidential Medal of Freedom. The date of the ceremony will be announced, and I can only guarantee you one thing, that we will have a very big crowd. Very, very big.
And the president made the announcement while speaking at the Pentagon this morning. He called the killing of Kirk heinous and said that he is missed greatly. Kirk died yesterday after being shot in the neck while speaking at an event at Utah Valley University. The 31-year-old leaves behind a wife and 2 children. Republicans and Democrats alike shocked by the killing.
This murder and the latest string of political violence reminds Kennesaw State political science professor Kerwin Swinch of what the country went through in the 1960s.
It's just a really ugly political environment right now.
And he says suspects in cases like this want to silence voices.
They wanted people to back down. And I know Charlie Kirk would want the opposite. He'd want people to speak louder.
Swinch says people also need to remember that public personalities and politicians also have families. Kirk had a wife and 2 young children. Jennifer Perry, 95.5 WSB.
All right, so your weather for today, a mix of sun and clouds, warmer afternoon highs around 87, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. She'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up in just a matter of minutes. Today marks 24 years since the 9/11 terrorist attacks. Memorial services happening across the nation. That is the sound of bells ringing at 9:37 this morning when the American Airlines flight hit the Pentagon. In New York, loved ones of victims killed at the World Trade Center also gathered at a memorial there. There are also events all around the metro Atlanta area today. A Clayton County deputy critically injured following a high-speed chase on I-75. His patrol car flipped over south of Forest Parkway after the suspect vehicle clipped an 18-wheeler, sending the big rig in the path of the deputy's car. The deputy was rushed to Grady, where he has critical injuries. A new report is out on poverty in America, and Jim Ryan says more people are rising above the poverty line, except for one age group.
The glaring exception in the Census Bureau's Income, Poverty, and Health Insurance Coverage Report is the fastest growing population, those over 65. Based on pre-tax cash income, the percentage of seniors in poverty rose to 9.9% last year from 9.7% in 2023.
And he says every other age group either saw gains made against poverty or remained steady. Let's take a look at the markets. We're in the green this morning. The Dow's up 594 at 46,085, so the Dow's up more than a full percent. NASDAQ's not far behind, and neither is the S&P. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather brought to you by Fenley Roofing. Alex Williams has a look at your roads.
Hey, Sabrina. Not pretty over on the East Freeway. Still dealing with this travel advisory. A crash in 2 left lanes. I-20 westbound past west of Panola Road, exit 71. You're slow back toward Evans Mill Road there in Lithonia. Covington Highway will get you around that. Northwest of town, it's the right lane construction slowing you. 75 north between Kennesaw and Ackworth. Right lane block north of Wade Green Road. Then you hit the brakes again even north of there, crossing over the Lake Allatoona Allatoona Bridge due to a crash on A75 northbound in Emerson at Old Allatoona Road, exit 283. That crash blocks the right lane. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly cloudy and warming up to a high of 87 for this afternoon. Lows tonight in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, hotter still, high near 90. Saturday, mostly sunny skies, morning lows in the mid-60s, daytime highs in the upper 80s to low 90s.
It is 77 degrees in Cartersville and Powder Springs. Johns Creek has 79 degrees right now. We'll have more news at noon. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
He's the guy at the desk next to you.
So if you can't handle your real face, then don't tell me how to handle my life.
He's your co-pilot for the ride home.
They have a lot more money now because they stopped kneeling.
Eric Von Hessler.
Things are going to get broken.
Eric Von Hessler.
Today at 3.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
The devastation that is before us now is unbelievable in terms of an entire world.
That's CBS News correspondent Pamela Call on the scene when the Twin Towers collapsed. Coming up next, we continue our 9/11 remembrance. Special guest live in studio next on the Mark Arum Show.
It's not going away. That spot you're trying to ignore in the ceiling, yep, it was there last week. It was there last month, and it's only going to get worse. Hey, it's Dave Baker, host of the Home Fix-It Show, for my experts at Finley Roofing, the roof guys. Everything you own and love lives under your roof, and it's long overdue to be replaced. So think of Finley first. Now that Finley has 0% financing available, it's even easier to stop procrastinating and get your roof replaced. Finley has installed over 65,000 roofs locally, including mine. They've mastered the roof replacement process with impeccable, high-quality work. Finley's seen it all and replaced it all. That's why Finley stands behind their work with a lifetime warranty on labor and materials at no additional cost. Nobody else does that. So now with 0% financing available, get started today with a Finley Roofing free roof analysis. FinleyRoofing.com.
Attention men, does ED and PE have you down? Well, great news. Choice Men's Health has the latest breakthrough treatments that can get you up and running. Meet the specialist who is dedicated to helping you perform better than ever in the bedroom.
Hi, I'm Dr. Katz, Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Our custom treatment plans have a 98% success rate at improving ED and PE on your very first visit, even if Viagra and Cialis have failed. Regardless of your age and medical history, we are here and dedicated to help you regain your love life.
Don't wait. Call Choice Men's Health now. We are so confident we can help. For a limited time, we're offering to cover your first treatment for free. Call 404-400-1170. Call now to claim your free treatment. 404-400-1170. Results guaranteed on your first visit or it's free. 404-400-1170. Choice Men's Health, the only choice for your health.
That was thousands of miles being added to your private radio network. With Southern Link, connect your private LMR radio system to Critical Link, our mission-critical LTE network, so you can communicate more easily with more people when the situation demands. Call 1-800-818-LINC or visit southernlink.com to learn more about our interworking solutions, mission-critical push-to-talk, and LTE voice and data services. Southern Link, pushing the limits of what's possible.
11:37 on this extremely busy news day Thursday. Welcome back, friends. Mark Arum and crew with you till noon. Right after the noon news, I'm going to give you a keyword in the 5K day bonus blitz. Another chance for you in $1,000 listening to 95.5 WSB. Deborah, though, we don't have to wait 30 minutes to give back to the listeners. What do we have to give away right now, my friend?
How about tickets to see Alice Cooper and Judas Priest at Ameris Bank Amphitheater on September 18th?
All right, let's do the 18th caller to Colby Cannoli at 404-872-0750. 18th caller to 404-872-0750 wins amazing tickets to see a rock concert at Ameris Bank Amphitheater, courtesy of the Mark Arum Show. Speaking of amazing concerts, very excited, joining us live in studio, performing this Saturday, if I'm informed correctly, at ViStar Amphitheater, the legend that is Tyrese. Tyrese, good to see you, my friend. How are you?
Man, this is crazy. What's up, everybody? I love y'all. Mark, you are a legend, man. I appreciate you having me on. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity. I know today is actually a very heavy day for our country because September 11th, leading up to September 11th, is always on our minds. And today of all days was literally the most tragic terrorist attack on American soil outside of all these mass killings, and just coming off of what just happened yesterday with Charlie. May his soul rest in peace. My condolences to his wife and his kids. I didn't see a lot of views the way he seen certain views, but no one deserves to be assassinated. No one deserves to have their life taken because their worldview may be different than yours. I don't like it. I don't believe in it. And it's just, I think what it does is it really highlights where we are as a country with guns and mental health and just people with these really bad intentions. But, I wanted to come on and personally invite all of your listeners. It's a lot of listeners.
Yes, indeed.
Mark, it's a lot of people listening, and they did not know about this show until I came on the airwaves. You didn't have to do this for me, but I'm grateful.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
So this Saturday, for all of the R&B fans out here, even if you're a fan of my Fast and the Furious films or Transformers, whatever reason that you are a supporter or a fan of Tyrese, some of y'all are like, who the hell is Tyrese? Google
no one's
it.
saying that.
It's okay. Google it. Look it up. You're going to be like, I did not know the name, but I know the face. It's all right. My name is Tyrese, and I wanted to personally invite you guys out to the VyStar, spelled VY Star Amphitheater, for the greatest night of R&B soul music. Live music. It's going to be myself, Genuine, another singer. He's got that song, Pony. Let's do it, ride it, my pony.
Oh, they've heard it on the show.
Look,
yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
I never assume. Okay, so Genuine, another singer, Tank is performing. Too Many Monster Hits, Life Jennings, and we're almost sold out. But I want y'all right now to go online and get y'all tickets. And what is the website?
FreshTix.com.
Fresh Tix.
T-I-X. F-R-E-S-H.
Not to be confused with T-I-C-S.
No.
C-K-S.
Yeah.
Tix.
No Lyme disease. It's Fresh Tix, Tix.com. And so I was aware of the concert. Jordan's been hyping the concert for a while. I didn't know you were performing. Was this just a surprise announcement?
Yes. So I got added at the last minute. I really invited myself, if I'm being honest, because it just sounded like way too much fun. And I was like, I'm in Atlanta. I've been living here for 8 years. People don't know that, but I've been here for 8 years. And I was like, these are all my friends. We've been rocking for almost 25 years.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, I just want to come out and do something special. At first, it was going to be a surprise. And then I was like, nah, I want the world to know I'm coming because I just don't get a chance to perform that often in Atlanta. Last time I performed, it was me jumping out on stage to surprise the audience at State Farm Arena with Usher Raymond. So
yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be
That's
a real
exciting.
night of R&B, Sweet Lady, you name it. I'm going crazy on stage, and it would mean the world to me if y'all showed up. And keep in mind, it's an outdoor venue. And very soon in Atlanta, as we all know, it will be 30 below zero with penguins walking down Peachtree.
Yeah, knock on wood. The weather's hopefully it'll be great Saturday. The legend that is Tyrese joining us live in studio on the Mark Arum Show. VyStar this Saturday, 7:30 p.m. Tickets available at FreshTix.com. You were talking off the air, and obviously we've been discussing 9/11.
Yeah.
And I just told my experience. I was here working at WSB Radio 24 years ago this morning, and my world changed. Do you remember where you were 24 years ago today?
Well, I'll tell you where I was on September 11th, but I'll also tell you where I was on September 10th.
Okay.
I was in New York City.
On the 10th?
On September 10th.
Okay.
At the first Michael Jackson 5 reunion.
Was that Madison Square Garden?
Madison Square Garden. I was in the audience. I was there. I flew out 6 a.m. that morning on September 11th.
Wow.
And when I got home, I went straight to sleep because when you leave at 6 a.m. in New York, it's really 3 a.m. in the morning in L.A.
L.A., yeah.
So I went backwards in time. I landed, I went to sleep, and then my phone just started going crazy. And everybody was like, yo, you see what just happened? And this is back when we had a SkyTel two-way.
Okay, yeah, absolutely.
Beam me your contact.
Yeah.
So my SkyTel was going. I had a Nextel chirp. My chirp was going crazy. Hey, man, where you at, bro?
Yeah.
Right? So I was at home in L.A. My phone went crazy, and I'm looking like it does not matter where I was staying in New York. If I was at a hotel that was in Jersey, if you were in New York City and experienced in any capacity the trauma and the tragedy of something that devastating and bad and dark, it would have been, I was messed up like we're all messed up from like seeing it, witnessing documentaries, you name it, right? But if I was physically in New York City on September 11th, I don't know what I would have done, bro.
I'm just trying to, what an amazing story. And the emotional swing. So first of all, you're at the Jackson 5 reunion concert living your best life. What an experience that was.
Let me tell you something. The freshness of Michael Jackson's knee pads, the gold-plated knee pads with his shin guards, okay, like a hockey player. Like the whole knee with the whole shin was covered, all gold. And he's on stage and he's performing his life away with his brothers. And we were all there knowing that we were specifically witnessing history. It was wild, man. And then 6 a.m. flight, and that's when it happened.
Wow.
I couldn't get out on the flight that night, right? I wanted to. I wanted to go to the concert, go to the airport, head home. But I got on at 6 a.m., and by the time I landed, got some sleep, the phone calls were nonstop, and we're just all at home.
It's a different
just
world.
Looking at it like, this is crazy.
Yeah, different world. That's remarkable.
Yeah.
Tyree, so good to see you, man. You're in Atlanta. You stay here. Come in. You have an open invitation.
Hey, man.
Would love to have
we
you
on
on
TV
again.
right now, too?
This is the live stream at WSBRadio.com or YouTube.
Wow, you're on another level, bro. This is like everybody in regular life and regular radio life. They gotta have camera guys here, then they gotta edit and do post-production.
Oh.
This is like real stuff happening. So for everybody tuned in, if I had known I was gonna be on camera, I would have probably put on, some sparkly and gave y'all some MJ shoulders. But you guys are personally invited. ViStar Amphitheater. And I have to say this because I just do. Not to make this about race, but I just have to be. I'm very transparent. A lot of time, us as black artists will do our R&B, our hip-hop concerts, right? And then we'll only see black people in the audience because the promoter is only promoting on black radio and doing whatever he's doing, which is still beautiful. But I said to myself, I was like, man, white people love me. You cannot have 10 billion in the box office.
As he's looking at the Mexican.
Mexicans love me too. I got to come on, this is my guy. Okay, come on, black and brown proud baby.
That's amazing.
So the amount of Latinos, the amount of white people that love me, that never ever know that I'm doing a concert in their city, I'll be out in the audience like, man, if they knew, they would show up.
Now they know.
So I'm telling y'all, it would mean the world to me if y'all accepted my invite. ViStar Amphitheater, and I just dropped a new album, y'all, before I go. If you go to Tyrese.tv, my album is called Beautiful Pain. You didn't know about that either. I'm just assuming you didn't know nothing. I'm
get it
over here
all.
mentioning my songs like you don't know my song.
I was, one of the actors in the Fast and the Furious.
Like, dude, we know who you are.
Listen,
Anyway.
you're an icon in Atlanta. Everyone knows you. ViStar Amphitheater this Saturday. Tickets on sale at FreshTix.com. Tyrese, so good to see you, my friend.
Hey, man,
I
thank you for
appreciate it.
having me on, bro. I really appreciate you.
All
man.
right, when we come back, we're going to continue to remember 9/11, the very latest on the manhunt for Charlie Kirk's assassin. Right now, though, got to check the Thursday morning drive around town, live to Atlanta's only 24-hour traffic center. Alex Williams.
I-20 looks like a parking lot out in DeKalb County. Market times. They're shutting down the entire west side of I-20 westbound, the westbound lanes past Panola Road, exit 71, trying to clear up this crash that's been in 2 left lanes, and it has ruined the ride almost back to Turner Hill Road. Covington Highway is going to be your best friend as an alternate there. Elsewhere, up in Gwinnett County, up in Cobb County, we're still watching right lane roadwork 75 north passing Wade Green Road. Then once you get past that, brake lights jam in again from the Allatoona Gateway up to this right lane crash in Emerson at Old Allatoona Road, exit number 283. Traffic brought to you by YRefi.com. Is private student loan debt ruining your life? It doesn't have to. Just go to YRefi.com. That's YREFY.com and get your life back. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
In Atlanta, there is always something happening.
Tanker truck crashed into the median.
The Triple Team Traffic Center has you covered.
No traffic getting through in either direction.
Helping you on your commute.
Avoid the area at all costs. Take Highway 155 or Highway 4223.
Brought to you by the Cool Ray Lifetime Parts and Labor Warranty.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Skip the hassles of a traditional home sale and sell your home quickly with a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. There are no showings, no open houses, and no stress. Hi, it's Chris Chandler. Selling your home is one of the biggest decisions you'll make, so who you work with matters. My friends at Mark Spain Real Estate are the most experienced real estate team in the U.S., and you can trust them to sell your home fast and for maximum profit. Find out what your guaranteed cash offer would be. There's no obligation. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today and start packing.
This is Monica Pearson for Superior Plumbing. In a perfect world, when you have a plumbing issue, you want a plumber that answers the phone when you call, shows up on time, respects your home, and tells you exactly what needs to be done, quotes you a price, and does the job right the first time. They appreciate your business, and Superior Plumbing becomes your plumber for life. Call Superior Plumbing to come fix your plumbing issues.
Superior, the honest one, call 770-4222.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
This is Mike Geller at D. Geller & Son Jewelers.
And this is Jonathan Geller. Dad, we're celebrating 86 years in Atlanta this month. People are always asking how you've kept our prices so low.
Well, I haven't bought a new suit since 1982.
I don't think that's it.
We go straight to the source. Diamonds, jewelry, gemstones. There's no better value than D. Geller & Son.
In Kennesaw, Sandy Springs, and online at dgeller.com.
Affordable jewelry for everyone is at D. Geller & Son.
It all started as a front door dream. You want those beautiful double doors for the front entrance of your home. But every company you talk to said that single door just can't go double. But with us, you can. Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons Garage and Entry Doors. We specialize in removing your dated single front door, side lights, and transom, replacing them with a beautiful double door, customized for that space to impress and welcome your guests. Get started at all4seasonsgarages.com.
For many of you, it's happening. Your hair's thinning, your crown's disappearing, and maybe hair loss has you feeling your identity is lost altogether. Well, I got good news. It's Advanced Hair's incredible yet simple one-day treatment that starts regrowing your own natural hair the very next day, and it's guaranteed to grow for life. It's Mark Arum back with you. We've all seen the pills and lotions that come with monthly subscriptions. They help retain what you have, but what about regrowing your hair permanently in specific areas? From Advanced Hair's state-of-the-art facilities to their world-class physicians, it's not maybe your hair will regrow. It's guaranteed that your new hair will grow. You decide how much, how thick, and where. Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, and I've seen their results, friends. For your free consultation, $250 off and 250 free hair grafts, call 470-660-HAIR. That's 470-660-HAIR or advancedhair.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're a different kind of wireless company dedicated to serving people 50 and up, like me. Because let's face it, our needs are different. Big wireless unlimited plans are designed for 20-somethings, not us. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on one thing, bringing you affordable, reliable rate plans that suit your needs, not ours. How do we do that? We start by using the same towers as the big guys, the exact same towers. We then create rate plans designed for your usage. The fact is, we can offer you an unlimited plan with the same network quality for less because we understand how you use wireless services. Our plans start at just $20 a month. And forget trying to chat with robots. You'll get 100% US-based award-winning customer service when you need help. Come find out how wireless should be and join the millions who've made the switch.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
That was a heck of a pop-in guest. Tyrese in town performing this Saturday in Stockbridge, ViStar Amphitheater. I'm going to post a picture I took with Tyrese on Instagram and connect you and him with the ticket information. And but what a crazy, Deborah, what a crazy 9/11 story that was.
That is insane. I
Yeah.
can't imagine that happening.
Just the range of and you know, he was able to get out. Thankfully, he had that 6 a.m. flight out of New York. Otherwise, we'd have been trapped there. But remarkable stuff there. I don't have much time left, but I will tell you this: Eric Erickson is taking over in just a couple of minutes, and I am eager to hear what Eric has to say about the passing of Charlie Kirk. I'm sure he was all over it yesterday, but a day later to reflect, Eric Erickson must listen to on your for your midday on my ride home, noon to 3 on WSB. And it goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. Any new developments in the FBI investigation and manhunt of the assassination suspect of Charlie Kirk, we'll break into regular programming throughout the day on 95.5 WSB and make sure that you are caught up to date. And download the WSB radio app for the breaking news alerts and the 5K day bonus splits. I'm going to give you a chance to win $1,000 in just a minute right here for 95.5 WSB. Rob in Peachtree Corners won the pair of tickets to see the rock show. Do we have one more pair of tickets to give away, Deborah?
We have got TSO tickets to give away.
Yeah, let's do those real quick. What do we have?
Trans-Siberian Orchestra, The Ghost of Christmas Eve, the best of TSO and more at Gas South Arena on December 14th.
All right, 14th caller to 404-872-0750. 14th caller to 404-872-0750 wins those tickets to see the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Real quick before news, I want to go back to Utah. Nick Watt from CNN with a quick update on the investigation.
Weapon, they believe, was recovered in woods near the campus. The weapon described as a high-powered bolt-action rifle. An investigators will, of course, be trying to trace any ownership, any paper trail behind that weapon. They are looking, they tell us, for a male, a college-age male who would have been able to blend into the crowd on this campus. 3,000 people were here to listen and debate with Charlie Kirk. So the authorities also tell us they have a foot imprint and they have the mark left by a palm and a forearm.
Nick Watt this morning, just moments ago, actually, in Utah at the Utah Valley University campus. Again, the big headlines, they've recovered the firearm, and they have multiple videos of the suspect. Really, really good information to keep that going. I'm going to 9/11 victims, family survivors. You get star of the show today. We had some amazing guests, Tyrese, but We're going to focus on the 9/11 victims, obviously Charlie Kirk's family, what they're going through. Social media, I'm going to go post those Tyrese pictures up there at Mark Arum, MarkArum. Ben and Marietta just won tickets to see the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Your chance to win $1,000 coming up after the noon news. Right after the Sabrina newscast, I'm going to give you a keyword in the 5K a day bonus blitz, and then don't change the dial. Eric Erickson's going to be must listen to today from noon to 3 on WSB. Stay safe. Have a great Thursday, Atlanta.
WSB Atlanta, WSB BFM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and